homecoming here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Yes, the tailgaters are here. Great crowd expected to file into the stadium as they get ready to see what the Hilltoppers can do against the Mean Green of North Texas. Western Kentucky, a new member of the Sun Belt Conference, coming in 2009. Hi, everybody. Sam Smith along with Doug Braber, our Sun Belt Conference Game of the Week. Doug, you take a look at North Texas looking for their first win. Western Kentucky's putting together a very good team as they get ready to go to the Belt next year.
Well, they really have, and North Texas is playing 17 true freshmen. From a coaching viewpoint, that's not easy. Western Kentucky is in the second year of a true two-year transition period where they go from 1AA up to 1A or the FBS series. Next year, they'll be eligible for the Sun Belt Championship and a chance to go to the New Orleans Bowl.
They are already playing 5 of the Sun Belt Conference teams. They've already lost to Florida Atlantic 24-20, but this is the second team they'll play from the Belt. All around the Western Kentucky University locker room is this sign, 212. Water boils at 212. They feel they're playing at 211, maybe just that close to making a gel here for the Hilltoppers. Let's turn over to our third member of our broadcast team. Let's send you back to our Sun Belt Conference studios. Here's Ro Brown. Ro, take it away.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you for joining us here at the Sun Belt Studios. I'm Ro Brown. All right, so we have a matchup in Bowling Green, Kentucky of two teams who are looking for more victories. North Texas is winless at 0-8. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are 2-6. But you can expect a high-scoring, entertaining contest today. Western Kentucky is an interesting situation because they are a team in transition. Literally, Western Kentucky is in the midst of becoming a full-fledged football-playing member of the Sun Belt Conference. After 12 straight winning seasons and tremendous success at the 1AA level, next year, the Hilltoppers will be eligible for conference honors and bowl consideration at the football bowl subdivision level. The going has been tough for Western Kentucky, like this narrow defeat 2 weeks ago at the hands of Florida Atlantic. But Coach David Elson says the transition, from a coaching standpoint, has been easier than one would think.
We got our 22 more scholarships, and that's fun. That's easy. You get to go out and sign more guys. Our coaching staff was already pretty much in place. It was a matter of paying guys more money, which that's a good thing. So a lot of positive things come with it. But football's football. We haven't practiced any different. It's been nice to see the depth that you gain with those scholarships.
Western Kentucky's other defeats have come at the hands of Indiana, Alabama, Kentucky, Virginia Tech, and nationally ranked and undefeated Ball State. Elsewhere in the Sun Belt today, Florida International travels to Louisiana Lafayette. Troy is at ULM, and Arkansas State faces a tough non-conference foe in number 2 ranked Alabama. There were 2 Sun Belt Conference teams with perfect records before today. The Troy Trojans are hoping it will remain that way after facing ULM. Troy is 4-0, ULL 3-0. At 2-1, it's Arkansas State and Florida International, last year's champ. FAU finally got in the conference win column, and they are at 1-2, followed by 1-3 Middle Tennessee. Then it's ULM and North Texas. And every time Casey Fitzgerald catches a pass today, it will set a North Texas record. Last week in the loss to Troy, he set the school mark for receptions, surpassing Johnny Quinn's Mean Green mark of 194. Congratulations to Casey Fitzgerald. That's it for our pregame show from the Sun Belt Studios. We'll be back at halftime. At that time, we'll check in with Mean Green head coach Todd Dodge, the coach who left the comfort and success of high school coaching in order to rebuild the North Texas program. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back here at halftime.
Sun Belt Conference football from ESPN Plus is brought to you by NRG Potato Chips, the energy chips. By Having, disrupt the ordinary. By Golden Flake, the official chip of the South and the official chip of the Sun Belt Conference. By Choice Hotels International, friendly, value, Choice Hotels. And by Geico. With Geico, you get more than just a great rate. Well, 90 years of college football here at Western Kentucky, and the folks are certainly enjoying 2008 as they tailgate before homecoming here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The coach and I wore our winter gear. We didn't need it today. 73 degrees. Just a gorgeous day. You see the winds very light. And, of course, nothing but blue skies here over Bowling Green. We'll see a couple of quarterbacks that will use those blue skies because they're going to air it out. And, Coach, you got to look at a couple of guys that certainly can throw the ball around.
Well, starting with North Texas, I mean, Giovanni Visa, wow, he has really been phenomenal this year. And but just to take a quick look at the Golden Flake keys to the game for North Texas, they got to get out of the box. They have been outscored 123-30 in the first quarter this year. They also must limit big plays. They have given up 27 plays on defense of plus 30. For Western Kentucky, they got to win the turnover battle. North Texas is minus 16 for the year. Western Kentucky's plus 2. They have to continue to do that. For Western Kentucky, they have got to be able to run the football better. They're averaging 4.2. North Texas giving up 5.2.
Coach, there's those two quarterbacks we were talking about. Visa, who really came onto his own last year. The transfer from Notre Dame on the other side, Walkie, is really playing well. Albert Taylor comes in behind him quite regularly.
Well, and just looking at the tape yesterday, wow, Dexter Taylor really adds some real speed to this offense for Western Kentucky.
Well, Western Kentucky is elected to, after winning the toss, take the ball first. So they want their offense to get on the field as North Texas will be kicking off from left to right. And, of course, we are on the west side of the stadium. Or actually the east side, excuse me. The west side has a beautiful new building over there that you can see shades most of the field. We get ready for the kickoff. Kicking off for North Texas, Jeremy Knott. Be a short kick coming up to the near side. And they'll be feeling it at the 25, finally coming up and knocked out of bounds. Rather rudely, I might add, is McLeod, and he's out of bounds on the North Texas side. But Western Kentucky will take over as they'll have it 1st and 10, and they'll rule it out of bounds at the 40. So a great run back by McLeod after that short kick. There's a good look at Walkie. Again, a transfer out of Notre Dame. And, Coach, when we talked to him, he said they want him to play tailback up there. He said, no, I want to play quarterback.
Yeah, it wasn't too high on the suggestion of Charlie Weiss that he moved to the tailback spot. He's a quarterback.
You see 2 years here, and, of course, he will graduate in December. And, again, they will run the spread. They'll have one lone running back. That is Hayden. They quickly swing it out as they try to get it to Grabler. Grabler is their #1 receiver as he's knocked out of bounds by Williams on a short gain. Let's take a look at the starting lineups today. First of all, for Western Kentucky, there you see Hayden, Johnson, Grabler, along with Letcher and Jones. Those will be the skill players, while the guys up front will do most of the damage. And again, a couple of good ones. Greg Ryan on that right side may be the best NFL prospect here at Western Kentucky. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for the Hilltoppers. Again, they swing it to Grabler. Grabler will have it at the 48-yard line, where it'll be short of a 1st down by 2. Take a look at the defensive lineup for North Texas. Up front, they have kind of been experimenting there. Davenport and Sykes, good defensive rush ends. The linebackers have been solid, though. The Wigway, the middleman, one of the top tacklers in the Sun Belt. And Doug, I'd imagine this secondary of North Texas may be well tested today before they leave here.
Well, I tell you, they're going to get a real test today.
So it's 3rd down, short yardage. Walkie will take it on his own. He's got plenty of room at the 40. And he's going to be chased out of bounds, or does he? He does, inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Kylie Hill will make the final stop for North Texas.
Yeah,
but what a move that was by Walkie.
Wow, and they caught him in a blitz, and they caught him in the perfect play. Take a look at it here. Watch the fullback. He picked up the blitzing linebacker, and that's it. He's off to the races. And right off the bat, Western Kentucky's got one of those plus 30 plays that we talked about as keys to the game. And North Texas cannot give up big plays like that.
There you see the numbers on Walkie. Add some big numbers today, 36 yards. 1st and 10 to go. They really mount at the 16. And again, Walkie on the drive again as he goes down to the 5. Boy, North Texas was totally full as they came to the near side on Hayden. And Walkie again on the backside got the yardage, 1st and goal to go.
Yeah, and the safety has him dead to rights right there. He misses the tackle. And, of course, that led to another big play. And, of course, it's going to be 1st and goal right at the 5-yard line.
By the way, wise decision by Cooper, the wide receiver, number 7. He was going to throw a block but was not sure if he was going to get in front of the defender or not, so he laid off. Walkie. He's going to take it on his own. This has been the David Walkie drive as he takes it in for Western Kentucky.
Well, way too easy on that drive. I mean, that was not a lot of competition from the North Texas defense at all.
Walkie will score his second touchdown on the ground this year, and he made that one look kind of easy.
Yeah, that's the zone read play, and that's what they do. They read the defensive end. He closed for the dive. Walkie kept the football. That's what he was supposed to do, and that's exactly what they talked about this week. North Texas likes to take away the dive, so the quarterbacks were going to have a big day.
Tanner Seward will add the extra point. Just that quickly, Western Kentucky, for their new coach. Over the last 6 years, David Elson, they have scored and have added the extra point. David Wolke takes it in for the score. 3 big runs for him. It's 7-0 Western, enjoying their homecoming in Bowling Green. Nice start for their homecoming here at Western Kentucky as David Walkie takes it almost unassisted into the end zone for Western for a 7-0 lead. Tanner Seward gets ready to kick off for Western, and end over end it goes. It'll be fielded by John Shorter at the 10. Shorter up the center of the field's got a little crease. He's got an opening at the 40, caught from behind, and down he goes. Good defensive play by Ryan Beard to finally catch him from behind, but a good field position here by North Texas.
Yeah, and that was the zone read play, and the defensive end closed. He pulled it and kept it. Nice blocking totally up front by the Hilltoppers.
You know, one thing that Western has done, they've kind of created a monster with Hayden. Of course, Rainey is out. One of their top runners, he's out with an ankle injured last week against Florida Atlantic, but they've kind of created in the fact that North Texas looking so much for the run from the backs. Walkie's been wide open.
That's exactly right, and they knew that coming in.
Visa again gets it out. This is Fitzgerald. Casey, the all-time leading receiver on receptions in the history of North Texas, gets his 194th catch as he steps out of bounds. And Visa, again, the quarterback for North Texas, there you see the numbers on him, comes from Alamos Heights High School in San Antonio, leading them to a state championship. He was expected to battle Riley Dodge, who's the son of the coach for the starter, but he had such a great year last year. He has come right in as they run for the first down, and they'll get it as they'll move the chains and inside Western territory. Starting lineup this afternoon for North Texas. There you see the skill people as Montgomery, Roberson, Stickler, a fine receiver, along with Fitzgerald, and there's the guys up front that'll make it happen. Holloway, a transfer from junior college, anchoring that left side, has been a very good addition for North Texas. 1st and 10 for the Mean Green. And you know, Doug, they'd like to have the same kind of drive going the other way.
Well, they really would, and you know, this is the first time now that North Texas plays against a 3-4 defense.
Run there by Montgomery. Stopping in the Western Kentucky University line, Dan Klein, who will graduate in December, along with Dark and Anderson. They run a 3-4 here in Western Kentucky. Good linebackers, as you see across the board. Blake Boyd is their top man. And the secondary will be headed up by Minor, Beard, Waters, and Jones. That's the starters defensively for Western Kentucky. 2nd down, 6. He's underneath. We'll swing it out to Alex Lott. Lott will get about 3 more yards on the play before Higgins, one of the linebackers, will make the stop for Western Kentucky. Alex Lott from Plano, Texas, a transfer from Texas Lutheran. You may recall he's got a rather favorite dad by the name of Thomas Lott, who played for Oklahoma. Not a bad player.
No, I guess not.
3rd down, short yardage for the Mean Green. Homecoming crowd getting excited early here. Here's the fake, and it's going to be Fiza. He may not make it, but the second effort will get him open.
Wow.
Fiza will bounce off the tackles and take it in. Touchdown, North Texas. What a run as he goes 38 yards for the score. He was cold can of corn, and he just bust out of there with a second effort.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Second effort all the way. That was the clear. Take a look at it. Now watch this. It's all stacked up inside. Somehow he comes out of that mess, and there he goes.
Well, we've played a little over 2 minutes of this first half, first quarter. And they'll be looking for both teams to add an extra point to a touchdown. North Texas will do their extra pointing by Jeremy Knott. And he is right on the money. So Knott putting through his 13th PAT and 16 tries has tied the game at 7. You see Visa working on the sideline as they continue to talk over what's happening with that offense. And just like Western Kentucky, Coach, they made that look easy.
Well, you know, I tell you, folks, don't leave your TV set because neither one of these teams huddle.
So it's North Texas on the road celebrates. But they've only come back to tie Western Kentucky here in Bowling Green. Well, a good look at Todd Dodge, the head coach of North Texas, whose team has come back from a 7-0 deficit to tie it up. Coach Dodge coming out of the high school ranks only in his second year at North Texas. North Texas will kick off. Jeremy Knott will kick it. He'll be kicking deep to Travis Waters, number 18, and number 34, Andrew McLeod. Good look at McLeod there. 5'8", 195, a junior from Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And they've done a good job, Coach, recruiting right here in the area they really wanted.
Well, they really have, and they're very, very competitive with all these new facilities, that's for sure.
At the 10 is McLeod. Gets an opening up the sideline, steps back inside, and he'll carry it out. Another good return by McLeod, 2 back-to-back. And it gets the offense in excellent position out around the 38-yard line. Well, Visa, who scored his first running touchdown of the year, did it the old-fashioned way, Coach. I think he earned this one as we take a look at this from behind.
He really did. And watch 62, the left guard, Gabe Holloway. That's where the crack developed. He stayed after that block, and Visa found it late, but he found it.
So Visa getting his first touchdown run of the year. Of course, he's been accurate on his throwing. He's thrown for 9 touchdowns through the air and gets his first on the ground. Walkie will stay in for Western Kentucky. He throws a bullet over the right side, incomplete, intended for Grabler. And that time Jake could not come up with a catch. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and throwing on the run as he was right there on that sprint out, he just didn't get his shoulders and hips turned to make that throw because it was sure wide open.
Coach, this is the second year for them to run the spread, and of course they went and got Kevin Wright, who ran that spread beautifully up in Indianapolis at Warren Central, and Coach Elson said, I needed somebody that knew it, and he certainly got a good man there.
He really did, and they execute this spread extremely well.
They get it to, again, their playmakers. This
Look
again
out.
is Grabler. He's got it in
Look
midfield,
out.
still on his
Look
feet.
out.
They can't tackle him. A chase from behind. Gabler at the 10-5. Touchdown, Western Kentucky.
Well, that's been the problem for North Texas. A lot of big plays. That's the second play of plus 30 already, and we're just barely halfway through the first quarter. It's amazing. A lot of missed tackles here. This is the tunnel screen. And wow, just no pursuit, missed tackle. 4 missed tackles. 4 missed tackles. That's just, you don't have a chance of playing defense that way.
By the way, that was the defensive end, Davenport, that was giving a try but could not catch up with Jake, and he scored 62 yards. Through the air they go. The point after is going to be good, and it's a 14-0 score. As again, Grabler comes down, and he makes his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
Well, that's the tunnel screen, and that was a big, big part of their plan today because, again, so many young kids playing on this North Texas defense. I mean, they have a bunch of kids playing who have, this is their first year playing college football, and all the missed tackles right there. That's a direct, and let's give Gabler credit, too. That's great effort. He lowered his pads. I mean, he wasn't messing around. He went north and south.
Coach, North Texas scored at 10:58 of the quarter, and now 10:28, 30 seconds later, Western comes back with an answer.
Wow.
Here's a good look on the sideline. That is Coach Elson. And, of course, Jack Harbaugh, who took them to the championship in 2002, good friends of yours he'll visit with at halftime, may have made one of the wisest coaching decisions of hiring this young man from Southern Illinois. And, of course, he was a graduate assistant there. He was running the offense there, the defense the last 2 years, now 6 years as the head man here. But he is an intense young man.
He's done a great job with this program. And, this transition from 1AA to Division I or FBS, it's not easy now. This is a whole different schedule they're playing. They're playing teams like Alabama, Indiana. They've played Kentucky, Virginia Tech.
This is Shorter at the goal line. Looking for the wedge to develop on the near sides. Get a little opening out to the 30. And he'll fall forward to the 31. Coach, the run back teams have certainly given him great field position all over the entire football field. Well, we've got a 14-7 game going here as, again, Western Kentucky has come up. And we'd like to update some football news, scores, and stats. You can go online, sunbeltsports.org. No matter what sport you're interested in, sunbeltsports.org has the details. Check it out today. And by the way, you can go on there and find out the cross-country championship was won today by the men and women of Western Kentucky. There you see the transition, and that's the way the schedule has gone for Western so far, as they have had a noteworthy schedule getting ready to go to the belt next year.
Yeah, they really have. And we've got a delay on the sideline over there. I don't know exactly whether there's a timing issue or what. Now I guess we're ready to go.
Coach, Western Kentucky plays a 3-4, but they run those outside linebackers up, almost look like a 5-2 most of the time, don't they?
Well, they really do. And in fact, here they're really in a 4-3. And this is an audible from Coach Dodge on the sideline based on the look that Western Kentucky's given.
There's the handoff. Goes to Montgomery. Cam Montgomery, their top rusher with 520 yards coming in, will get a couple of yards over the left side. You know, that running game of North Texas, that's the key to Visa. If he can get any kind of running game going, he can throw it on a string.
Well, he really can. And of course, that should be the strength of the Western Kentucky defense being in the 3-4. You really should be able to play the run better.
Here's Visa. They get it out they swing it to the left side. They've got an opening on the far side. This is James Hamilton. And Hamilton will take it for another first down for North Texas. So they run some different backs in, and that time Hamilton, who's a true freshman coming out of Cedar Hill, Texas, makes the run. And the defensive stop is by Santoro.
We may never see either punter today. I mean, the way these offenses are getting out, the punters might as well sit down and just rest.
And by the way, we've got two punters going very good so far in the league, including the league leader, as he can kick it away so well for North Texas, but as Coach pointed out, may not see him for a while.
Yeah, that's Truman Spencer.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Mean Green. Visa looking for the little out pass and gets it to the near sideline, and he gets it to Stickler. Brock Stickler out of Lampasas is finally knocked down by Minor.
6'3", 225, big target out there.
Well, Coach, that was close for the exact 10 yards, but he got enough for another first down.
Well, that's what those big receivers give you. I mean, you know, they can really get you some positive north and south yards.
You know, Coach, one of the things, even under Coach Dodge, that they use so well at North Texas is some excellent tight end play. And again, they get it there. You see Western already with a big lead, but North Texas cutting into it is Montgomery. It's a hole over the right side. By the way, Coleman Feely, number 70, we did not see him the last time we did a North Texas game against FIU. He, of course, is 6'4", 282, and a freshman out of Austin is now in at right right guard, and they say he's really going to be a good one before he leaves North Texas.
Yeah, he's big, and he's very, very athletic.
Good gain of the play of 6, 2nd down and 4. Montgomery stays in the backfield. By the way, Matt Phillips is one of the guys signaling along with the head coach, Todd Dodge, from the sideline. As Phillips sends in the signal, and Visa will get it off. He's back to throw. Over the middle. It's going to be complete. And there again is Stickler. He makes another great catch as he's down for a first down from North Texas. I tell you what, I got a very short score sheet. I may need another sheet here, Coach.
Well, you know, I'm happy to see Stickler getting the ball. Remember, early in the season, after their third game, he had only had one catch. And yet, now we got a flag here. Let's see what this call is going to be. It's a late flag.
Sideline interference. Western Kentucky, 5-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. First down.
So again, the 5 yards also be tacked on. You know, it's a gorgeous day here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We're glad you could join us along the way with the Sun Belt Conference and ESPN Plus as we're here at Smith Stadium in Bowling Green. Sun Belt Conference football, along with the coach Doug Graber. I'm Sam Smith and our great ESPN Plus crew.
You know, and that's a new rule. They used to give a warning on sideline interference. No more. It's just a 5-yard penalty right off the bat.
So 1st and 10 for North Texas. They've got the ball at the 15. Visa, a lot of time to throw, and he's got it again to Stickler. Touchdown, North Texas. Oh, this is going to be a shootout at the OK Corral today.
Wow. I'll tell you what, whoever gets the ball last, it looks like is going to have a great chance to win this one.
Stickler was the key guy in that drive.
Yeah, and again, he just ran a crossing route against the zone and did a nice job. Really plucked the ball out of the air and stuck it across that goal line.
Coach, we had the first score at 12:59. The second came at 10:58. The next one at 10:38, and this one at 7:56. And we are threatening to tie it up, and they do. And North Texas comes back to tie the game at 14, and we still have a little under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Coach Elston, not exactly the happy camper. He's also the defensive coordinator for the Hilltoppers, but North Texas on the mark for a touchdown to tie it up. North Texas has allowed 65% of their opponents of their total offense and 69% of the scoring. That in the first half. But today they're matching them point for point. We're tied at 14, Coach.
Sam, I got my computer out and figured this out. If we keep going at this pace, it's going to be 84-84, and we'll go to overtime unless somebody misses an extra point.
Did you really say that word? You did, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. You dog, you. We're ready to kick off as North Texas, again, has tied it up, and Knott will be kicking off. UT kickoff coverage. You can see the numbers there, and they'll kick it deep, and this is going to be McLeod again. He backs all the way to the 2. Andrew McLeod's had a couple of great runbacks, but he'll reach the 20 and no more. As good coverage by the special teams of the Mean Green will force Western Kentucky to go 80 yards this time for the score.
Well, that's a start in playing some defense, is that kickoff coverage and getting good field position, a good kick, excellent coverage, and as you saw by the stat there that was up, North Texas has had trouble covering kickoffs, and Western Kentucky has been very, very good at returning them.
You can see the number of the plays that have been long ones today. By the way, the average field position for North Texas has been the 27, 35 for their opponent. Dexter Taylor now in for Western Kentucky. Go at the line of scrimmage, and that's all. As North Texas clamped it down at the front, Sykes and Thomas make the stop for the Mean Green.
Well, of course, Dexter Taylor was playing wide receiver here, and then just 3 weeks ago, he made the move to quarterback when a young man by the name of K.J. Black decided to transfer. But he has run this offense in high school. He played for Kevin Wright in high school.
Black, by the way, was beaten out by Walke. Didn't like riding the bench. So now that's Walke the starter. And again, Taylor is the man in the cockpit now, and he gives to Hayden for a good gain of the play. Short of a first down, though. They get it to the 25. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, I think we've only had one of the 3rd down so far in the first quarter, and that was the one that Visa, recovered and bounced it outside and scored on for North Texas.
This is an offense that averaged only 282 total yardage, 37% on 3rd down conversions. Taylor on the direct snap to the wide side. There's the option, and disrupted. The ball's on the ground, and North Texas has come up with a fumble recovery, and they've got it down to the 10-yard line. Man that was forcing the play, I'm not sure it was in Sykes or Davenport, one of those defensive ends, was the man on top of it, and the linebacker Steve Warren will make the fumble recovery. Good pressure by the ends to knock it loose here.
Well, this is just the sprint option, and that's exactly who it was. That was a Sykes that did a great job of taking him and getting his left hand out and really causing a poor pitch. And, turnovers for North Texas have not come easily this year. That's a huge one now. 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line.
Well, coming in, North Texas is a -16. They were 3 turnovers, 3 takeaways in the first 3 games. The last 5, they've been, of course, the -16. As they've lost the ball 18 times and got it back only twice. Now they get one here and a big one at the 10. Visa behind good position, gets it out to Fitzgerald, dives to the pylon, but just out of it by the 2-yard line.
Boy, he was reaching out for the pylon, and his left foot must have just nicked the sideline there right at the 2-yard line.
Coach Fitzgerald not only is the #1 in receptions in the conference, just a shade under 10, but he's also #1 in the NCAA with number of catches per game. So he is a weapon. It is 2nd and a yard. They can get a 1st and goal before scoring here. This is Montgomery to the goal line. He goes, touchdown, North Texas.
Wow.
What a nice drive by North Texas after getting the fumble recovery. So the first turnover of the day results in the Mean Green getting 6 points out of it. You made mention, Coach, field position was going to be important, but the defense had to force something for North Texas.
Yeah, they really did. And again, take a look at Montgomery here. Man, he just powers that thing in, and that's a nice job again by Gabe Holloway and that offensive line.
We still have 6:14 left to go here in the first, and North Texas has now come back to take the lead with the extra point to come. Kicking in will be Jeremy Knock. Matt Phillips, the 3rd-string quarterback, and a senior who's been very diligent to help them on their special teams. With the hole, it's down, and they have got the 21-14 lead.
Boy, if you like offense, continue watching this football game.
There's a good look at Visa. Visa came in, and he and Daniel Mager were kind of battling. They've also thrown Nathan Toon, a freshman, in there. But it has been Visa since the day one for Coach Dodge. He said, I really like what this kid does. And he is dynamite, not only running but throwing the ball as well, and has been a nice addition. Unfortunately for the Mean Green, it hasn't resulted in wins because there's too many other missing pieces.
So they really are in their special teams and their defense. And also, but Visa has played so well that has allowed them to really think very, very seriously about redshirting Riley Dodge, the most heavily recruited quarterback in Texas last year, originally committed to University of Texas. And then, of course, when Dad came to North Texas, thought that might be a good move. He's had some injury problems. He had a strep throat. He had some other issues physically. Had a concussion early in the year. So he'll redshirt now, which is really the best thing for him.
By the way, Coach Todd Dodd was the starting quarterback down at Texas from 81 to 85. The Port Arthur native, and of course it was natural for his son to want to go to Texas. It plays Texas Tech later today, by the way.
Wow, that's
#1 against #7.
Who are you pulling for?
Let me think.
Being a Texas Tech grad.
Yeah, my education came from Texas. Yeah, I'm going for the Red Raiders.
I somehow figured that.
Kickoff for North Texas. And again, Knott, who's already had a busy day, will kick it. This will come to the near side, and this time they're going to finally get it to somebody else, and this is going to be Willis. And Steven breaks it outside. He gets by one man at the 35 and tumbles ahead to the 40. Well, the kickoff returns today, except for the last one that was only out to the 20, has been really good on both sides.
Yeah, take a look at this now. You're just going to see a wedge up inside. It was a left wedge right up the hash mark. Good job of advancing the football right there. And again, now here we go again. Western Kentucky starting at the 40-yard line. This is the 3rd time now that they have returned a kickoff past the 35-yard line.
Walke is back in there again to run the attack here for Western Kentucky after Taylor got messed up with a fumble a few moments ago. Great play by Sykes, the defensive left end, as Marquise really made that play for North Texas. 1st and 10. Here's the belly handoff inside. They'll get very short yardage, though, as again they are playing without Bobby Rainey. He's a young freshman, got a knee injury in the FAU game, and they're kind of struggling. Hayden and Booker have been their 2 top runners since he went out. And, of course, McLeod is also as the 3rd running back and makes that carry for 1.
Yep. Bobby Rainey was really, he was their lead guy, and, of course, he was injured, as you mentioned, a couple weeks ago.
Well, of course, the 5A Player of the Year in Georgia. Here's Walke, swings it out too wide to Grabler. Good coverage on the play that time by Darian Williams, the free safety that came up to play on the corner for North Texas. Yeah, this will bring up a 3rd down play.
That was a mystery by Walke. I mean, that was cover 2. That corner was in the flat. That ball should not have been thrown there. They're fortunate that ball wasn't picked off.
Is there something on the middle that's open on that
Well,
play?
absolutely. That ball should have come right down the seam. They had him wide open. He just a simple misread of the coverage.
So 3rd down here for Western Kentucky. And again, no punts as of yet so far this afternoon. 21-14 North Texas. Walkie gets it underneath. It goes to Grabler. And Grabler will get enough for the first down to the 48-yard line. They may give him more than that. He's down to the 47. 1st and 10 to go for the Hilltoppers.
Crossing route, man-to-man coverage, almost impossible to stop. You see it right there, and that is exactly what you'd like to have on against man-to-man and blitz coverage.
You see a very busy defender, Williams, who came into the game with 46 tackles, has had to make the last 2. 1st and 10 to go for Western Kentucky. Their homecoming here in Bowling Green, and a great crowd in their newly renovated stadium, and they're going for broke. This is going to be overthrown. Oh, I tell you what, that time they had Graves just behind the defense, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Boy, Graves that time was like a burner. He was down there in a hurry.
He had a real burst.
Our referee today is Chuck Lewis. As one of the other officials said, he's the guy that could hide behind a pole.
Ineligible lineman downfield, number 77 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
That was right after a great meal at Montana Grill here in Bowling Green.
Well, that was wonderful last night. And of course,
by the way, that is the 4 o'clock. It's a little late today. Wow.
Of course, the train tracks are right behind the berm in the end zone.
Coach Elston, you saw looking on a young 37-year-old. Of course, 07 in his first year of the transition, they went 7-5. That, by the way, was the 12th consecutive winning season Jack Harbaugh got it started, and Elston has continued. This time on a 1st and 15, they'll get 3 of that as Wolke will get it inside, trying to look for some blocks, but it just didn't materialize like the other one did. And making the stop for North Texas. Good job by Edric Gilmore making the stop inside.
That was a quarterback draw, pre-designed run all the way by the quarterback. Sam, this has been interesting. When we looked at tape yesterday, Dexter Taylor was the one that was really lighting it up with his running ability, but it's been Wolke today who really of the two has run the football better.
It's interesting because what happens here, Wolke, the better of the two throwers, the little bit of running has now set up his passing game, and this one's going to be incomplete.
Maybe intercepted.
Did they make it? They
Sykes.
do.
No question about it.
Interception, ball knocked up in the air, and coming down is Greg Robertson. Robertson out of Stratford, Texas, up in the Texas Panhandle, gets the intercept.
Yeah, take a look at it right here. Ball tipped up in the air. And I think that was Sykes, the defensive end. I think that was a zone drop right there.
So again, the interception by Robertson, number 42.
I'm sorry,
He had 5 intercepts last year and 48 tackles, but he comes up with a big one. 2 turnovers back-to-back. And North Texas has the ball in their own territory at the 42.
Well, being at minus 16, this has been their problem this year. They have not gotten many turnovers, and terrific start today with 2.
Well, they're minus 14 now, so they're trying to catch up. He's an inside handoff to Montgomery. Steps outside and gets to midfield. Oh, Montgomery's got that good balance, Coach. He's able to go left to right, and that time a nice little move outside to get some yardage.
Young man out of Northeast Mississippi Junior College, averaging 5.4 per rushing attempt. He's been very, very effective for them.
By the way, Scout.com rated him as number 3 at JUCO running backs when he came out of Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. And North Texas happy to give him. Visa comes back with a screen on the near side. And they'll take it all the way up the sideline, and out of bounds they go. I tell you what, they come back with Hamilton again. James Hamilton, the freshman out of Cedar Hill, makes a nice catch on the screen behind him. First and 10 to go, North Texas.
That was cover 2, and the corner made a bad mistake. Take a look at it right here. Watch number 2, Marcus Minor. Watch him jump inside right there. That's the mistake. That leaves the sideline wide open. He's got to keep leverage.
Visa's had a great day of throwing that football and has another 1st and 10 at the 39 of Western Kentucky. And he's looking to throw. This one's up in the air. Intercepted! And back it goes the other way. Western Kentucky. That, I think, was Darius McBride as he caught that ball in midair. And now they're going to say it's incomplete and did not get a hold of it.
Wow.
Well, he had a hold of that ball.
Yeah, he had it coming down right here, and he was stripped of the football coming down. That's exactly what happened.
Big break for North Texas as they get a 2nd and 10. By the way, Visa, despite that, is now 8 of 9 in throwing for 88 yards so far this game. 3:10 left to go in the first quarter, 21-14. North Texas with the lead. Visa quickly gets another check off. And the clock is down to 3. He's going to have to get it off in a hurry. 1, and they didn't get it unless they called a timeout. And apparently they did.
Yeah, and that was strange because.
So the timeout taken by North Texas. Visa just did not like what he saw. He tried to check off at the last moment, but the play clock was down to 5, Coach.
You know what happened? Western Kentucky was having a hard time getting correctly lined up. So then they couldn't set their audible, so he didn't know what to do. So that was the result, the timeout.
Well, Coach Elston has watched on almost in disbelief as Visa's had an unbelievable day today. He, of course, is 8 out of 9, has run the ball. Let's take a look at some of his highlights today, including the touchdown run as he takes it home from 38 yards.
Yeah, and that's Strickler right there, and Strickler again. He's made some nice catches today. And Visa, you know, he can break their season record today for completions during a season, and it's not going to take till halftime, I think, for that to happen.
Coach, with Stickler getting open on a couple of big plays there, he was very instrumental in that drive. Must mean that, of course, Fitzgerald is drawing some coverage on the other side.
Yeah, you know what they're doing? They're playing a lot of cover, too, against Fitzgerald outside, which opens up the inside. And, of course, we've already seen Stickler can be very, very effective as an inside receiver.
By the way, in breaking the mighty Quinn record, Johnny Quinn at North Texas last week, 14 catches, 113 yards for Fitzgerald. Unfortunately for North Texas, not enough as they lost 45-17. Already outdoing that. Point of exception today is a flag is down, and that may be some movement on the front line.
Yep. Western Kentucky got into a blitz look.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 62, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Those are the kind of penalties, Coach, you don't want to make this late in the season.
Well, you really don't, and that was a Gabe Holloway, and he's a junior. He's a transfer. But, again, they came up in the blitz look, and he just got a little over-anxious there, got excited, moved a little bit.
At Wamba Community College in Mississippi.
Yep.
Like that. 2nd down, 15 yards to go. I was going to leave that one to you, but I decided to try.
Oh, I've been there. I can do that one.
Can you do that one? 2nd down and 15. Visa back to throw to the near sideline. Another catch made. And I tell you what, Stickler's putting on an all-star performance. He makes the catch. They'll gain about 7 on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 8.
You know, I asked David Elson yesterday, what's your biggest concern? And it's happening right now. He says if they get hot, we're going to be in for a tough time. Visa is hot.
Visa again has missed only 1 pass so far today on a 3rd down play. North Texas so far 37% on their 3rd down conversions. Plenty of time for Visa. He throws it too hard. Incomplete. Roderick Johnson had it on his hands but could not come down with it.
Interesting decision here for Todd Dodge, and he's made it. And is that the field goal or the punt team? They're right in kind of Never Land here.
And again, they're going to punt it away.
And they're going to punt it, yep.
As they've got a great punter, as you mentioned earlier, Truman Spencer averaging 43.5 on 48 kicks this year, Coach. He's had 13 of 50 yards or more.
Yeah, and let's see what he can do here now, whether he hangs the ball up and tries to get it down inside the 10.
This could hurt his average if he does angle it. And he does, trying for the coffin corner on the near side. Takes a pretty good bounce, but his coverage was not there. And it goes into the end zone and out to the 20-yard line.
Well, they were very unfortunate there. Very unfortunate. That was Robbie Gordon that was down trying to down the football, and it took a really bad kick on him back to the center of the field.
So it'll be 1st and 10 to go at their own 20 for Western Kentucky. They're down 21-14. 2 teams matched touchdowns at 14 all before a fumble recovery forced by Sykes, the defensive end. Gave them a ball and a 3-yard score as they took it home for the touchdown. Todd Dodge, who was 79-1 at South Lake Carroll High School, and of course won 4 state championships. Only game he lost was in the state championship game in 03.
Amazing.
Unbelievable record there at Southlake. And there is going to be Hayden, and Hayden's going nowhere.
But
Great play by Davenport, the defensive end.
The North Texas defense is really showing some life. Now they've had some success. They had the interception. They're starting to get excited, jump around a little bit on defense. Hopefully, and Gary DeLoach said it, they need confidence, and there it is right there.
By the way, Davenport got in late. That was Steve Warren that actually made the first hit. Good job by the backup linebacker. So it's a long 13 and 13 now, 2nd and 13. And over the middle goes to Grabler. He's got the first down as he tumbles out to the 31. Well, Grabler is having a great game already as Hill and Williams collaborate on the stop for North Texas. 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers.
14 yards on the play.
And there's that inside route again by Grabler. Not a fast guy, but he runs routes very well.
He's just very, very effective, smart football player, wide receiver that really understands defense.
And as a former defensive backfield coach in the National Football League, you've seen some guys that do run some routes very well.
Oh, I have.
Hayden in trouble. From behind, it'll be Davenport, and his buddy Sykes will wrap him up. But a nice run that time of a little over 5 yards. Again by Hayden. Nothing left. He decided to go right.
And Sam, I don't want to put any pressure on Western Kentucky here, but there's 1:18 left in the first quarter. If it's going to be 84-84, they got to score before the end of this quarter.
Western Kentucky again lost by 4 to Florida Atlantic last week, as Charles Pierre had a career-high 194 yards rushing. Actually, that was 2 weeks ago for Florida Atlantic. Here's Walkie. That's a play that went very well early on, but North Texas smells it out nicely. And on the 2nd down and 4, he'll get about 3. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for North Texas. For Western.
That's really just a very simple ISO play with the quarterback running the football and the halfback leading up through the hole. 3rd and 1.
Lloyd Presley is the center, a junior out of Evansville, Indiana. And Wrights High School there. Walkie checking off at the line of scrimmage on this 3rd and 1. He has Hayden in the backfield with him. Walkie comes near side, looking to throw the bullet, and it's going to be behind. That time Jesse Gwynn. And it'll be incomplete. It brings up a 4th down, and we'll probably see the kicker here for Western Kentucky now.
Well, it's interesting with Wolke. The only 2 bad throws he's had have been movement. He's had sprint outs on both of them, one to the right, one to the left. On both of them, he did not get his hips and shoulders turned well enough to really make an effective throw.
By the way, another good punter coming in is Jeremy Moore. Moore's a junior out of Indianapolis, Indiana, averaging 37.6. He's had one of 55 for his longest, and 4 times he's been over 53 yards.
Second punt of the day now.
And there he gets another beauty. This is going to be fair caught, and they'll catch it down at the 27-yard line by Joyner. Joyner makes the catch, and it'll be 1st and 10. Fitzgerald actually had been catching punts for North Texas, had a little bobble problem, so they've elected to go with John Shorter, who's the freshman out of Dallas and Lake Highlands.
Yeah, that was the bobbles that Fitzgerald had. That was against Rice, and that was not a pretty game for North Texas. And, once you lose your confidence back there catching punts, then, and by the way, I've got to say that talking about punt returners, J.T. Smith, who I coached at Kansas City, was the best I've ever coached, graduate of North Texas.
All right. Here's Visa. And he's going to throw this one away to the near side, and they're jumping up and down for Western Kentucky, forcing to throw that ball under pressure. Trying to get it here on the near side, trying to throw to Cam Montgomery out of the backfield.
Inside linebacker L.J. Harbison he read the screen immediately. He was running right with him, shoulder to shoulder, had to throw it away.
Harbison is one of those juniors out of Edmonton, Kentucky. Metcalf High School did a good job. Again, a 3-4 with the outside linebacker now making it a 4-2. They play man-for-man coverage here on the near side. As out there is Minor. And I believe he's on Johnson here on the near side. It's Visa looking for a run. He's not going to throw it. There's a flag down, which would indicate a possible hold. And out of bounds he goes. He'll gain only about 3 yards in the play, but more than likely will come back.
Yeah, and you're right, Sam. That was straight man-to-man with the free safety. And, Coach Elson told us they're doing more man-to-man coverage this year than they ever have in all the years they've been here.
Looks it might be a hand to the face on that offensive line, which obviously would turn into the holding call.
Holding on the offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down, 1 untimed down.
That, by the way, is Tyler Bailey. Bailey, a junior out of Lexington, Kentucky. Interested coming back to Kentucky to play against Western Kentucky.
Well, he's the grandson of Charlie Bailey, the former head coach at Memphis State.
So he gets the penalty, mark it off for a second down now, and they'll need 20 to ball at the 18-yard line. So Visa's going to have to work hard to get this first down to keep this drive alive.
But that frantic offensive pace of the first 13 minutes of this game has slowed down a little now. Penalties and turnovers.
You mean 84 is not a possibility?
I'm not thinking that, although here we go again.
Stickler has the reception, and out he goes at the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. So as that pass is complete to Stickler, the clock runs out of a very hectic first quarter. Our score, homecoming in Western Kentucky, North Texas 21, the Hilltoppers 14. Don't go far on the Sun Belt Conference Game of the Week. Well, a nice crowd here at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green. They've seen a whale of a first quarter. 21-14. Visa, by the way, with another completion, and that's going to complete the record, Coach.
Yeah, he's done it now. 10 completions. That's 232 on the season.
Wow.
Broke the record of Mitch Mauer from 1994.
Keep in mind, they also had a guy by the name of Steve Ramsey was running through there. That had a lot of completions as well.
Absolutely, and of course, they still have 3 games to go.
Third down and short yardage for North Texas. We start the second quarter with the Mean Green in the lead by 7. This is going to be Visa. He just literally second effort to get that one. He was hit in the backfield, but was able to break it to get the first down. Sun Belt Conference football coming to you today from Smith Stadium here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Our game of the week with the Hilltoppers, new member in 2009 against the Mean Green of North Texas. Sam Smith along with Doug Graber. North Texas, of course, struggling for victories over the last couple of years, but quite obviously the 4-time champions of the Sun Belt the first 4 years. He's on the first down. Time to look and throw. He does underneath. Gets it out to the far side and will have another completion. They'll get it out of bounds right at the 45. Minor finally catching up with the receiver, number 80. That is going to be Kevin Dickerson. And Dickerson makes the reception for about 6 yards. It'll be second down and 4.
Young guy out of Fort Worth, Texas, not too far down the road from Denton.
They do a great job of recruiting the Texas area. Of course, about 91% of their players from Texas. Here's the inside handoff, and it's going to be Montgomery again. We have not seen Michael Mosley. And again, Micah is one of those running backs that we saw in the last game that we did that we were really impressed with. But again, Montgomery has carried most of it along with the other backs that have been in there so far. Montgomery now going out with a shoe problem. And coming into the game again is going to be James Hamilton. So Hamilton is in there. He's already played well in that first quarter.
Yeah, and Micah Mosley, I'm told, has a shoulder injury, and it was just deemed not quite healthy enough to go today.
By the way, we were anticipating also to see Morrell Booker for Western Kentucky get hit in the eye with a football during practice, and he too was questionable, but we have not seen him overthrowing Stickler. And it'll bring up another one of those kick times here for North Texas.
Well, the frantic offensive pace of the first 12 minutes of the game has slowed down. We've actually had a couple of incompletions now.
Which haven't been many today.
No, not many. And really, that's the first throw that I recall that Visa just missed. He had Stickler open on the outcut. He just missed it.
Spencer will be in to kick. You may recall his last one into the end zone. As he'll kick this one, plenty of room to kick away, and he does. An end-over-end kick to be fielded at the 15-yard line by Grabler, and Grabler fighting out to the 22-yard line. Jake doing a good job, just refuses to go down. So Western Kentucky will take over the ball down by a touchdown. They'll have it out beyond their 20-yard line.
Well, here we go. We're about ready to get going here now. Western Kentucky will start at their own 22-yard line.
So North Texas again tries to throw up the defense as Wolke will have it first and 10. Let's take a look at our Havoc scoreboard of the out-of-towns. Alabama just crushing Arkansas State early. Florida International and ULL at 7-7. However, Finroy has now cracked the 1,000 mark, becoming only the 7th player in the history of NCAA to do so, 1,000 yards for 4 consecutive years.
That's a tremendous accomplishment, durability, everything else.
Wolke is back to throw. Plenty of time. He's going to throw to Grabler, and he's got it for another first down. Jake Grabler having a great day today for Western Kentucky. Wolke that time, coach, he could have had a sandwich back there, such good protection.
Yeah, they really had great protection. And the sad thing for North Texas, that was his own blitz where it was supposed to be some pressure, but it was very, very well blocked by the Western Kentucky offense. And, you know, he and Wolke and Gabler, they just seem to have a great chemistry. They know where he knows exactly where he's going to be.
There's going to be Wolke again will carry. He'll gain about 4 on the play. Goes to the 44. As again the linebackers are called into making a lot of tackles for this team. As again they come up with Hill from the secondary along with Robertson again as the outside linebacker. Wolke again, what an unbelievable first drive he had for Western Kentucky.
Wow, I mean, just almost untouched every time he touched the football.
And ended up giving him a 7-0 lead, but a turnover by the Hilltoppers at their own 10-yard line has resulted in a go-ahead touchdown. This is Hayden to the outsides, get run, and he's out of bounds at around the 39-yard line. Terrell Hayden from Lexington, Kentucky, and he'll give the Topper fans something to cheer about on homecoming.
Yeah, now take a look at this. Again, he has, he's the 1,000-yard rusher from last year. That's the zone read play, and boy, they just gassed the North Texas front right there.
So 1st and 10 to go for Western. Wolke again with Hayden back in the backfield with him. Trips to the right side. There's the handoff to Hayden again. He'll get only short yardage this time. Maybe only back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll be about all. Good play that time by Scoggins on the front line for North Texas. Also coming up, doing a good job for them, that secondary that had good support that time. Number 61 is Jonathan Stewart, who finished off the tackle.
Yeah, that North Texas, they've had the turnovers, which have really been their stops today.
Wolke with a handoff goes to Hayden. Hayden getting that little slant over the left side, trying to get the blocking needs from Jeffries and Hughes. Hughes, by the way, number 70, and Ryan, number 52. They're the stars of the weight room. They are in there every single day doing some big-time work.
Oh, I guess so. And of course, Wolke was trying to be a star of the weight room last spring before spring football. And he tore his pectoral muscle trying to bench 355, missed the whole spring.
He says, no more of that for me, folks. What a delightful young man to visit with yesterday. Here's Hayden off the left side again. This time he's going to get down to the 30-yard line on that third down. And needed about 5, and it'll be now a 4th down and 1.
Well, this is a decision now for Western Kentucky. Let's see now. They're going to bring their heavy unit out, I think. Yep. This is going to be the 2 tight end offense, and they're going for it here on 4th and really a pretty good 2.
So a couple of the wide receivers are now gone. The 2 tight ends will line up, and it'll be in the eye with Wolke. With Hayden in behind. Only one wide receiver. That is Graber to the right side. Man in motion. That is Johnson. They turn and hand off to Hayden. He needs only a yard. He may not have made it.
Not even
close. He'll be shy of the 30. He had to get down to about the 28, and a turnover on downs here by Western Kentucky, and North Texas does what they need defensively.
Boy, Toby Nwigwe makes a great penetration from outside here. Watch him, number 44. He slants in from the outside, and he's all over that one. He and along with Craig Robertson.
So they've come up with 2 turnovers and now stop on a 4th down play at the 31. And it'll be North Texas taking over the football again, and they've got the 21-14 lead as Coach Elston looking on from the sideline. Coach, defensive coordinator and head coach, is that difficult?
Oh, that's very, very difficult. And this is unusual because really both head coaches are very, very involved with the offense and defense. Here's a flea flicker.
And it's a long one downfield. Visa trying to get it to Stickler. And I tell you what, there was one whale of a play in that secondary by Beard. That saved a potential long gain for North Texas.
Timing was just a little bit off. He had to wait for the football. And take a look at it here. And you watch Stickler, he had to wait for the ball to come down. And that, of course, allowed Beard to make a great recovery and a lot of patience. That easily could have been interference, but he really kept his poise and just got his hand in there on the football.
That was one of those prime examples of not getting too much air under the pass.
Right.
Because Stickler had it in stride. It had been thrown a little deeper. Second down and 10. Giovanni Visa working at the quarterback spot for North Texas. Got time to throw again, and he does. This time overthrows Johnson. Incomplete. Secondary Minor was the closest man to him.
Yeah, and that time Western Kentucky came with a 3-man rush and really got to drop the extra guy in the coverage, and he was right under that throw.
By the way, the man that won the national title here in 2002, Jack Harbaugh. Not only in the Hall of Fame here, but also in the booth with us at halftime. And I know you and Jack go a long way back. I know you're going to enjoy that visit.
Oh, I really am. He's a wonderful friend for a lot of years, a tremendous football coach. Great career here at Western Kentucky, and really wherever he coached.
Well, he took over in '92. They had exactly half the budget that they were supposed to have. And for the next 10 years, he built the program and won the title in '02. A pass is going to be complete to Fitzgerald, but they're going to rule now it's incomplete. So on a 3rd down and 10, it'll turn to 4 and 10. And back onto the field, the punt is Spencer for North Texas.
Yeah, and of course they would have had the punt anyway there. He was well short of the 1st and 10, and that time the Hilltoppers came with the blitz.
Back deep for Western Kentucky. They've got Gabler back there. He, interesting enough, has had no returns this year prior to today. And, of course, last year, a good average about 15 yards on punt return. So they've got him back there with their great sure hands, and he's going to field this one at his 31. Got a hole up the middle. Glaber to the outside will finally be drugged down. Boy, it's just, Coach, you can see it up here. It opens up. Jared Johnson, number 40, finally brought him down, but that had big play written all over it. So as Gaber, you can see slapping his hands. He too knew he had an opening the outside. 9:17 to go in the first half from Bowling Green. North Texas leading 21-14. You see the time left to go here in the first half. Well, you're in good hands with All-State, and of course they have our BCS standings. And of course Texas #1, followed by Alabama, Penn State, Oklahoma, Southern Cal, Georgia, Texas Tech, Florida, Oklahoma State, and Utah. All are in action today, with the exception of Penn State has an opening. There are 2 games featuring members from the top 10, Texas at Texas Tech. And, of course, the big party down in Jacksonville with Florida going up against Georgia. There you see the second 10, highlighted by Boise State. By the way, there are 8 unbeaten teams. Boise State happens to be one of those. By the way, Minnesota, boy, they having a great year or what, Coach?
Boy, I'll tell you, that was a great game they had with Northwestern today, and Minnesota came out on top again, I'm told.
Well, you see South Florida, they, of course, lost, so they will tumble from that top 25 for sure. Here is Walkie. Swings it to the far side. That ball is going to be in and out of the hands of the intended receiver as they tried to get it to their playmakers on the far side, and that time it wouldn't happen as Willis, who normally is a pretty sure-handed receiver, can't hang on to that one.
You know, and it's been kind of surprising that we have not seen Dexter Taylor at quarterback. He was in for 3 plays and had the fumble, and that we haven't seen him since.
Walkie with a 2nd down and 10 for Western Kentucky. Clock at 9:12. Here in the second quarter, they're down by a touchdown of the Hilltoppers. This time they get it to Grabler. Grabler makes a move at midfield, dives into North Texas territory as he gets it to the 47-yard line. You got to be impressed with this kid. He is everything for them. Their #1 receiver coming in, and a couple of touchdowns, but kick returning and catching all over the field.
He's just a football player. I mean, you can just see it out there. He's got good strength. He understands the game. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got good hands. He's got good ability to run with the football after the catch. He's been impressive.
By the way, he is teased by his teammates. He said, hey, check the beard out. You can't see it here. He does have a pretty good-looking beard under there. 5 o'clock shadow for him, and right now the shadows are starting to come over the stadium here in Bowling Green as Walkie's back. 3rd down play. He'll not get this one away. Great play that time and a huge rush up the middle. North Texas got the push they needed. Number 95, that's Jesse DeSoto, got the first push and makes the stop, and he had help from his friends.
Yeah, Kyle Russo was right in there too. And here's the North Texas defense. Boy, they've made some plays today. Gary DeLoach, the defensive coordinator, has really got to be happy with this young bunch. They're running to the football. They're playing with much more enthusiasm. They're starting to gain some confidence.
By the way, that name sounds familiar to North Texas fans and Sunbelt. He, of course, was the defensive coordinator while they were winning the 4 championships in the Sunbelt Conference. He's been out at UCLA for the last 5 years, but now back at North Texas. And interesting enough, when you talk about defense for North Texas, one of the things he told us when we did an earlier game is the fact you just really have to find out who you can trust, not only as a teammate, but from the standpoint of a coach on that defensive side.
Absolutely. You got to know that you can trust that. If he's supposed to be in the A-gap, you can trust him that he's going to be where he's supposed to be. And that takes time to develop that trust and confidence and discipline to do that as a young defensive player.
Visa, who's averaging 62% completion of his pass for the season, well above that today, has missed only a couple of passes. As his team leads by 7, they've got another possession, 1st and 10 at their 32. Hand off to the right side to Montgomery. Got the edge. Montgomery still on his feet, fights his way down to about the 48-yard line. Cam Montgomery running very well. Coach, when he gets that edge, he's got a way to go.
Yeah, he does, and he just ran right through the tackle, or the attempted tackle of the cornerback, and you know, he's got some. You take a look at it right here. He's really runs with some strength and ran right through the back of the tackle of Marcus Minor right there, the left corner.
Finally making the stop is Ryan Beard. Waters, their leading tackler, also had a shot at him but missed. 1st and 10 to go for the Mean Green. Hand off on the belly up the middle to Montgomery. Boy, they're using that right side. Johnson, Feely, and Santiago blocking up front for North Texas. Actually, Tyler Bailey has been filling in for Feely, who is now back in and blocked in that play.
Yeah, they're kind of alternating, I think, throughout this football game.
2nd down and 3. Little different look for Western Kentucky. They play the normal 3-4. They brought in a nickel back and run with the 2 linebackers back as Visa gets the check off from the sideline.
double audible. They audibled the first time, and now a different look, and now they're coming back in 6 seconds, now 5 seconds.
Daniel Mager now is helping out Coach Dodge with the signals. Matt Phillips had done it earlier. There's a pass. It's incomplete. Throwing it to the near sideline, and a guy they've thrown to a couple of times, Kevin Dickerson, could not come up with a catch there.
Yeah, that was a pretty well-thrown ball. That's I think Dickerson would like to have another shot at this one. This one looks like it could easily. Yeah, that's just a drop. That was not a good job at all by Dickerson.
You can see how well he had beaten that linebacker who was covering him on the outside. So it's now 3rd down and 3 for North Texas. Visa looking as Western Kentucky shuffles their defense. And now I believe they've got a timeout called by the defense. They didn't like their play at all, Coach. They didn't like the way they were set.
Yep, they were having trouble getting lined up, and David Elson, and when they did get lined up, they were wrong. He saw it, called it right from the sideline.
By the way, the Sun Belt Conference, of course, will welcome the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers next year. Of course, they're no stranger to winning championships. They won 2 in the Gateway Conference. The Ohio Valley, they kind of dominated there with 11 championships in the Ohio Valley, and now the Sun Belt, they'll be eligible for the first time coming up next year. By the way, only one victory away is Troy of becoming bowl eligible, the first team to do so this year in the Sun Belt Conference. They've got a pretty good tussle, though, as they're playing down at ULM.
Well, you know what, and Troy this week now for the first time started getting votes in the AP poll, and rightfully so.
There is C, of course, here the 1AA National Championship. As again, they started off the year, Coach Harbaugh probably was not real happy with this, 2-3.
Yep.
But again, they came on to win, beating the Cowboys of McNeese State in Chattanooga, 34-14 to win the title.
I had breakfast with Jack and his lovely wife Jackie this morning, and the interesting thing is their last 2 games, they beat Western Illinois and McNeese, 2 teams who had beat them earlier in the season.
Interesting. By the way, Jack will be our guest at halftime, and we'll talk about that championship and also his induction into the Hall of Fame. Well, it's a 3rd down and 3. Western Kentucky is now content with their defensive set, as you see him strung out right at the line of scrimmage. Visa inside Montgomery, and he's got the first down to the 39. Well, Coach, the line of scrimmage is now being won by North Texas.
That really is. They're really coming off the football, and they were very fortunate there because Western Kentucky was in a coverage that's called 2-man, and there's not much support. Had Montgomery broken that tackle right there, he was off to the races.
So it's now 1st and 10 to go for North Texas. Visa near side to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald trying to run away, but no, he kind of lost his leg that time and was being yanked out from behind him. And again, he goes down. So Fitzgerald will gain none on that, loses 2 actually. And it's a 2nd down and 12.
Full blitz by Western Kentucky, straight man-to-man. David Elson's rolling the dice here a little bit, doing everything that he can to slow down this potent North Texas offense.
Coach, 3 plays of at least 30 yards or more for both teams in the first 3 series.
Wow.
Since that time, the last 10, no plays over 18 yards. Here's a handoff to Montgomery again. Cecilia McCullough, former at Denver University, joining us in our booth today as our statistician. Thank you, Cecilia. Nice to have you aboard today. It's North Texas now faced with another one of those 3rd and long. By the way, Coach, their 3rd down average this year is 7.7 yards on 3rd down conversions, and that's a long way.
Yes, it is. That's about what they have right here.
That's right. About 3rd and 8 right now. And now they don't like it, and they're going to call the timeout, stopping the clock at 4:53. I think Coach Todd Dodd realizes this is a golden opportunity maybe to get one more score and head to the locker room with even more of a lead. They're up by 7. Well, what will the Mean Green do? We'll find out when we return to Bowling Green in a moment. Interesting enough, the first 9 minutes of the first quarter, these teams put up 35 points. Since that time, nothing. We have 4:53 to go in the half. North Texas with a 3rd down and 8. Visa steps up into the pocket. He's going to have to run with it. He can. He dives inside the 30. He took a hit on his way in there. And they'll rule him down at the 30, and that will be very close to the first down.
Boy, that looked like a helmet-to-helmet contact right at the end. And Visa had a concussion earlier this year. And very, very well covered down the field. Good protection. Watch him go north, and there's the hit right there.
Wow. Big hit put on him by Harbison. Harberson's had some good hits today, Coach.
Yeah, that's that inside linebacker. He's a physical player.
And Smith has been the other linebacker that's put some hurts on you as well. As it's going to be a first down for North Texas as they have partially moved the chains across the way, by the way.
And that's exactly what David Elson has said. Wait a minute. He said, I thought we were going to have a measurement there.
And the official on the center of the field, along with our referee, Chuck Lewis, said, nope, it is a first down. Coach Elston still doesn't believe it. Well, what a nice visit we had with him at the walk-around yesterday. A little calm before all of a sudden it was time for the defensive coordinator to take over. Yeah. And away he went.
That changed in a hurry, didn't it?
It did. 1st and 10 to go for North Texas. They lead 21-14 as they match Western Kentucky touchdown for touchdown before taking the lead with 6:14 to go in the first quarter. Montgomery from 3 yards out. Clock is rolling at 4:10. Play clock down to 7. Visa inside handoff Montgomery. Coach, that underbelly of that defensive line of Western Kentucky gives up a little ground. They don't break, but they are bending a bit.
Well, they are, and again, that's about almost a full 3-yard gain, and but you have to just keep pounding it because eventually one of those things is going to pop, and Montgomery is the guy to do it.
By the way, Todd Dodge says I need 2.6 yards per carry. If he can get me that, we'll get out of that long third down and long yardage, and right there they get 3. 2nd down and 7. Plenty of time for North Texas to make another scoring drive here as they are trying right now. Visa this time dumps it near side, and Montgomery out of the backfield will take it out of bounds. And he'll get it at the 25-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and they'll need 5. Homecoming day here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Just a delightful day. That's a look at their brand new stadium area across the way. And, of course, it's Smith Stadium here. Sam Smith along with Doug Graber. And our Sun Belt Conference game of the week. Interesting next week. We've got Texas El Paso and University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Check your local listing and station in your area for the game next week. There you see some of the games, 35 points. Last 15, 0 points. There's a snap. Western really got a good push on that. Here's a pass intended for Stickler as that time a good rush up the middle. And a good job by Western Kentucky. They get it by Robert Dark, the defensive right end, and force Visa to throw under pressure.
Yeah, and you could just see the philosophy change as this game has progressed. David Elson is going with much more man-to-man coverage, a lot more blitzes, a lot more pressure defense, and again, successful stop here. And of course, as we look for Jeremy Knott to try to make a 10-point lead.
Well, he's kicked 11 of 15, 47 against Tulsa has been his season high. The holder will be that backup quarterback, Mac Phillips. Good snap. The kick's on its way. Plenty of leg. And it's going to be good. So Knott drives that through rather easily, I might add. And it puts 3 more on the board. A very important drive for North Texas. They take the lead now by the score of 24-14. First score since the 6:14 of the first quarter.
Yep, Knott now 12 of 16 on the year, and a good leg. I mean, that had plenty of distance.
Young man, another one of those transfers. Coach, you, of course, head coach up at Rutgers, and, of course, several colleges along the way. Junior college help, did you like that or not?
Well, I was always opposed to transfers, but I'll tell you what, I had a lot of good luck with transfers at Rutgers. The ones that we did have were good kids. They fit in well in our program, and they were very productive for us.
Well, you see what happened in last year's game. North Texas won 1 game, and it happened to be the last of the year against Western Kentucky. As again, Western missed a 38-yard field goal with a minute left to go. Outscored 20-6 in the second half. Last game won by North Texas. Looking for their first win of the campaign. They're 0-8 right now. They do not look like an 0-8 team because Western's not not chopped liver here, folks.
No, not at all. I mean, Western Kentucky, had played a very, very great game. Ended up losing to Virginia Tech by a score of 27-13. They've had some tough losses this year.
It'll be kickoff time by Knott. And let's see who goes to this time. This time it's going to be Willis, number 28 at the 9. Willis to the outside, looking for a block. Oh, nice tackle in the open field that time. And he'll go tumbling ahead after the tackle is going to be made by Cody Moore. So Willis gets a return out beyond the 20 to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for Western. Plenty of time, Coach, with 2:39 left to go.
Yeah, as we see, he ran into his own guy there. That was Ben Duval trying to block for him, and that was a pretty good collision right there.
And Willis is going to the sideline going, they got 11, but I got hit by the 12th guy. Who was that? 1st and 10 to go for Western. Western Kentucky again behind by 10.
Big drive right here by Western Kentucky.
Robertson gets the pass to the outside for the 32-yard line. Gets coverage as it comes up from the secondary of North Texas, but again, not before a nice gain out to the 32.
Yeah, 2:24 to go and counting. Plenty of time. Nice 8-yard gain to start this drive, but Western Kentucky needs a score, at least a field goal on this drive.
So a 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Hayden is back in as the lone running back. Doubles to both sides on the receivers, near side on the hash. Inside handoff to Hayden. Hayden was trying to come wide right, nothing there, cut back against the grain. And will gain just shy, I think, of another 1st down. Looks like it's about, a yard?
Yeah, it's going to all depend on the spot here. It's going to be close.
Always hated that left foot, right foot spot, Coach.
Yeah, and you know what? This looks like it's maybe about 2 feet short.
3rd down and less than 1. Wolke getting it audible from the sideline, moves Hayden around to the backfield.
Expect quarterback draw here. Nope.
They give it to Hayden. He's hit in the backfield.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sure he made it. There's a little extracurricular going on as a helmet goes askew.
That was Nwigwe, outstanding middle backer that made the stop there.
Wow.
Wow, they're short.
So again, a loss of a yard in the play. Nwigwe is one of 3 linebackers in this league that lead the conference in tackles. Certainly Joseph down at FAU, Jackson over at FIU, and of course here Nwigwe is number 3 as he came to the game today with 82 tackles and makes a big one there.
Yeah, 3 outstanding middle linebackers in the Sun Belt Conference this year.
We call them the Belters, and of course big tackles by all 3 of those linebackers.
Good timeout by Todd Dodge. Did not want that clock to run down. He'll have 1:04 after this punt to try to get at least in position for another field goal.
You take a look at Coach Dodd. He was the offensive coordinator, offensive system, at North Texas 92 and 93 before he decided to go into the high school coaching. And of course, we have already documented at Southlake, Texas at Carroll, 4 state championships. And again, a former quarterback of the Texas Longhorns.
National High School Coach of the Year in 04 and 05.
Kick time for Jeremy Moore as he'll kick it away for Western Kentucky. 1:04 left to go.
Good snap.
They rush him, and he gets a beauty out of there. This one is turning over, and back it goes to about the 18 or 19-yard line, and still on his feet, still running, coming up to about the 27, as they got some pretty good coverage on that is John Shorter.
Yeah, that was really good coverage. I thought he might have outkicked his coverage there, but good hustle. 1 missed tackle, but again, converged on the football. 51 seconds to go now for the offensive Todd Dodge here for North Texas.
Shorter, by the way, is average about 8 yards per return on punt. He came in averaging 6, so he is certainly getting the benefit of some extra yardage for North Texas. 51 seconds with Visa. This is plenty of time to do something else here, Coach.
Right. The style of offense they run, it's certainly plenty of time to get the ball moved down the field.
First 9 minutes, 35 points, 3 since that time, and we're under a minute to go at half. Visa will wait for this snap. Presley gets it back to him, inside to Montgomery, out to around the 31-yard line. By the way, at halftime, Roll Brown will be joining us. We'll find out more about Coach Todd Dodge, the head coach at North Texas. We'll talk about our players of the week in the Sun Belt Conference, 3 good ones. And, of course, a special interview with Jack Harbaugh. A couple of old friends will talk about the old days as they've known each other for a lot of years. Our good friend Doug Graber along with Coach Harbaugh at halftime. 22 seconds and counting. Visa looks like North Texas may be content just to kind of wind this one down. As Visa taking a lot of time off that play clock, it's down to 7.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to run it out and be kind of conservative here. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, they may not be too conservative as Montgomery pushes it out to the 44. Adds more, and that's going to end the first half of the game. Coach, what a first half we had today.
Wow, especially the first 11 minutes. Up and down the field they went.
So again, as you take a look, this, by the way, is only the first time, they've led twice, 0-3 and 10-7 against University of Louisiana Lafayette, but this is the first lead at halftime North Texas has had all year long. And Todd Dodge, again, a man that has led them in to the lead so far here at halftime. We'll have some good words to his team. He's got to be happy, Coach.
He's got to be thrilled with this. I mean, remember, they had been outscored 126-30 in the first quarter this year.
Well, this crowd at homecoming, of course, saw quite a hectic first quarter, only to find North Texas come back with a touchdown and a field goal to now take the lead to the halftime break, 24-14. David Elston is on the sideline, the head coach of Western Kentucky. And, Coach, after that game was tied for 14, I know you didn't want to have what North Texas did to put points on the board.
No, we just got to be smarter with the football. We turned it over, and, we're only 10 points down with 2 turnovers. So we got a chance. We just got to play 4 quarters. Every time we've been in a Sun Belt game, it's been a 4-quarter game. So our guys got to rise up to the challenge.
David, you talked to us yesterday. You knew this was not an 0-8 team for North Texas. They got some weapons.
They really do, and the quarterback's really good, and they're big and physical up front. And, it's a matter of time before they get things going. They haven't turned the ball over, and that's what's been hurting them. So we got to find a way to force some turnovers.
David, thanks for the hospitality. We'll let you get back in the locker room. Thank you. David Elston, head coach of Western Kentucky. His team, of course, got on the board first, only to find North Texas answer field goal for field goal and touchdown for touchdown. It's 24-14 at the half, North Texas.
Welcome back to the Sun Belt Studios. It's halftime in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are hosting the Mean Green of North Texas. After picking up 2 wins last season, North Texas is winless thus far this season. These are undoubtedly tough times for Mean Green head coach Todd Dodge, a highly successful high school coach at one of the top prep programs in the country. Losing is new to Todd Dodge, but don't expect it to continue. Todd Dodge won 4 Texas 5A state titles and 2 national titles at Southlake Carroll High School. So when he was named head coach at North Texas, it didn't seem far-fetched that a Division I college program would hire a high school coach. But Todd Dodge was not just another high school coach. And although the wins have been few in a season and a half, he's not surprised. He knew this would not be an overnight turnaround. Football is football. It's the off-field aspects that's different.
The biggest difference between high school and college is you're a little bit more responsible for the college player than you are the high school, because usually those high school players mom and daddy's about a mile away, and those college guys, it's just a lot more involved with them, and that's good.
If there is one player who has benefited most from the arrival of Todd Dodge, it is record-setting wide receiver Casey Fitzgerald, a non-factor on the field during his freshman and sophomore years, all conference as a junior, and on that way again as a senior. Fitzgerald says he just loves Todd Dodge.
Before he even wants us to be good players, he wants us to be good people, good man. So, he preaches being a good individual off the field, first of all, before being on the field. So, and he really takes a value in the academic side of our life. So he's a great person, great father figure type person.
Now let's look at last week's Sun Belt Conference Players of the Week. On offense from Troy, it's quarterback Levi Brown. Brown completed a school record 40 passes for 391 yards and 2 scores in his team's win over North Texas. The transfer from Richmond tied the school record for completions in a half, with 35 in the first half. Since taking over as the starter after Jamie Hampton was injured, he has not thrown an interception. and the Trojans have not committed a turnover. On defense, from Troy, it's Jorick Calvin. Calvin had 9 tackles, including 2 for loss and an interception. Jorick Calvin is a junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the special teams player this week should be a familiar name. He's Jorick Calvin of Troy State. Jorick was outstanding on special teams as well as defense. He returned a kick 94 yards for a touchdown in the 4th period to put the game away. He finished the game with 130 yards on 3 kickoff returns and 36 yards on 4 punt returns. Thanks for joining us at the Sunbelt Studios for our halftime show. Get ready for the second half of North Texas and Western Kentucky from Bowling Green with Sam Smith and Doug Graber.
Well, and what many of the North Texas fans are saying, in by the first 30 minutes, they played that well all year long for a 10-point lead here at Western Kentucky. This program almost died back in 1992, but the man that brought it back, and certainly to a national championship in 2002, as our guest in the booth. And 2 guys that know each other very well. Let's throw it over to Doug Graber.
Well, thanks, Sam. And Jack, what an honor for me to be here when you're inducted into the Hall of Fame.
My treat. We go all the way back to the 70s. A couple of secondary, I was going to say old, but I'm going to skip that word. A couple of secondary coaches from bygone years.
Well, congratulations. And Jack, we're going to take a look at the induction ceremony here and kind of talk through this this morning. I know your family is so proud of you. And here we look at the ceremony this morning. Have you talked to Jim or John today?
I've talked to Jim's right in the middle of the ball game. They're with Washington State right now. So we'll see how that works particularly. But so we're here watching this game, but worried about Jim out there as well.
Well, now, was this your whole coaching career at Michigan, at Stanford, Western Michigan? Was Western Kentucky your biggest thrill?
No question. We were here for 14 years, and I look at these as our signature years as it relates to a coach. The 14 years having those problem years early when they dropped football, really dropped it for a month. Then we were able to rally and then to come back and win a national championship. We had some outstanding youngsters here and coaches.
Not easy, because especially the kind of shape the program is in. And here, Jack, talk us through some of the national championships.
One here, this is Jeremy Johnson. He's the starting fullback for Cincinnati. He's out with a knee injury right now, but he transferred from Indiana and made a tremendous difference for us. And this is Jonathan, I can't think of his last name right now, but Jonathan Frazier up here in Mullen County, and the last 3 games had 100, 100, and 100 in our last 3 playoff ball games. Quarterback number 10, I just want to point out, he's now the tight ends coach for Tennessee with Philip Fulmer.
And here goes the Hilltoppers walking away with the goalpost.
I don't know if they got those back to Bowling Green. To be honest with you, this is the last that I've seen of them.
Well, Jack, I'm so proud of you. Now, also, I can't let you go now without talking about somebody that you're proud of, your sons. Jim is the head coach at Stanford. John is the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Your son-in-law, Tom Crean, is the head coach of Indiana basketball. Wow.
You know, the neat thing about that, Doug, is when you go through your life coaching and you know you're going to get your nose blooded, you're going to get your lip split, come home some night when you've lost by 35 points, your kids see that. And they see you suffering, and then they choose your profession. It's unbelievable. I can't understand how they ever did it.
Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You've been a great friend, and what a job you did here. And with that, we're going to throw it back to Sam, but I've really enjoyed today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you very much, Jack. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Doug. Our thanks to Coach Harbaugh. Congratulations, my friend, as again, Western Kentucky celebrating their homecoming, but they've got some work to do in the second half. North Texas has come in and played very well. They lead by 10 at the halftime break.
And now, the 2008 Western Kentucky University Homecoming Queen. Representing Kappa Delta Sorority, Sigma Alpha Epsilon Fraternity, and Kappa Sigma Fraternity.
Well, Vitsa and company did a great job in that first half with a 24-14 lead by North Texas, as we'll start the second half in just a moment. And, Coach, just a great half for North Texas.
Well, it really was. And there we see the president of Western Kentucky University, Dr. Ransdale. And
by the
wow.
way, they put together $100 million in their athletic facilities. In the next 15 years, it's going to be over $600 million they're able to raise for the university. I mean, that's talking about everybody on campus, and this is the man that does it. And, of course, that's Dr. Ransdale.
And, of course, their enrollment has gone up 12 consecutive years.
Well, as you take a look at today's game, of course, it was another one of those games that you anticipated North Texas to come out throwing the ball. They also got a good running game early on that opened up the passing, I thought.
Well, you know, the really, I don't want to say surprising thing because that wouldn't be fair, but the North Texas defense finally at the end of the first quarter, after they made that first turnover, they have really picked up the pace, and that's been a missing ingredient. Those young kids all of a sudden now are getting to start some confidence. They're running around, getting to the football. They're having fun.
Well, buckle up a bit. 9 minutes of football in the first quarter. Let's roll those highlights. In the first half, this is David Walke. Look at this. As Walke was into the end zone, that was after a couple of long runs to set it up.
Yeah, that first drive was all him, and here you see Visa on a 4th and 1, bounce it inside, and Stickler lead the way. And what a play for Visa.
36 yards to tie the game at 7. Yeah, they're kind of happy, but Western was not through. Western Kentucky comes back. This is Grabler. Look at him break tackles as he's on his way.
Just ran right over the North Texas safety, took it all the way into the end zone.
62 yards on the Yaks, yards after the catch, but North Texas Mean Green was not through.
And great protection there, and Stickler showed those sticky hands right there, stuck it in the end zone.
And, of course, the two teams had the 14-14. It was Montgomery taking it in. That's the go-ahead touchdown. They later got a field goal to end the first half, and here it is as it's up and good by Jeremy Knott, and that 10-point lead is the first lead North Texas had at halftime all year long, Coach.
Yeah, we said that one of the keys to the game for North Texas, they have really struggled in the first quarter all year, being outscored 130 to 20-something, and they got off to a good start.
Well, our Havoc out-of-town scoreboard, Alabama cruising over Arkansas State. That's a final now. Florida International is trailing by only a touchdown at University of Louisiana Lafayette. Lafayette tied at the top at 3-0. Of course, Troy is 4-0. And speaking of Troy, later tonight at ULM, and that'll be a big game once again for Troy. That's our Havoc out-of-town scoreboard. Here in Bowling Green, they're homecoming for Western Kentucky, and they trail 24-14 at the half. Well, our score 24-14 with North Texas on top. 30 minutes a game does not make. There's 30 more to go. But Todd Dodge of North Texas standing by at field side. And, Coach, you got to be happy with that first 30 minutes.
Yeah, we are. Our kids are playing with a lot more confidence after the first two drives. There wasn't any panic. Real pleased the way that we're playing team football right now. We got some contribution from kicking game with the kickoff return, and our offensive line's playing well. We just got to keep it up right now.
Todd, one of the things also, a couple of turnovers today that's helped you greatly.
That's what we talked about going in, is that we were going to try to force 2 turnovers for the game. We got it 2 in the first half. We try to get 2 more in the second half.
Todd, thank you very much. We'll let you get back to your team. Todd Dodge, again, head coach for the University of North Texas, and I guess it's just keep on keeping on for North Texas. I know they'd like to kind of run a lot and just use a lot of this clock, wouldn't they, Coach?
Well, you almost have to go through what they've gone through. 0-8, and a lot of them have not been pretty, and tough to keep that enthusiasm on your football team, but they've continued to practice hard. The staff has done a good job keeping them going. And, they're 30 minutes away from their first win, and that would be a lot of celebrating in that locker room after being 0-8.
Well, Western Kentucky won the toss of the coin. They took the ball to start the first half, so they'll be kicking off to the Mean Green. And John Joyner will catch it inside his 5. Joyner straight up the field, cuts to the left side. Got a crease, take it off his feet that time. Good diving tackle by number 24, Chris Franklin. And it'll be 1st and 10 for North Texas as they are moving the ball from left to right here in this first half. Speaking of first half stats, you take a look at the numbers, and North Texas, Coach, that's quite a bit of yardage in the first half already.
249 yards, but I really felt the key was the North Texas defense. After the first 10 minutes of the game, they really settled down and started playing good defense.
Averaging only 37% on their third down conversions, but 50% on the board, hitting 4 of 8. On the third downs, Western Kentucky only 2 of 7. First and 10 to go. There's a good look at Giovanni Visa. And off to Montgomery, and Cam is going to go nowhere. Cam, by the way, of Hamilton, have been their only 2 running backs tonight. They're stopped along the line. Robert Dark, the defensive right tackle, make the stop along with Dan Klein. Klein, number 90 for Western Kentucky, will be a December grad. His father, by the way, is the mayor of Centerville, in Centerville, Ohio, just in the Dayton area. And he says he calls him yes sir or no sir, which is very nice.
I think he'll be a mayor one day because he's a very articulate young man. Great student, 3.5 student.
Second down, 11 to go on a loss of a yard. Base it a throw again. Underneath goes to Stickler. Stickler has 8. Would he ever have completed? The officials say no.
Ryan Beard did a great job of stripping that football out of there because he was open. He had it, and Boyd, the linebacker, was in on it as well. Between the two of them, they were able to get that ball knocked out of there and stripped.
Well, that was a completion all the way, but Stickler had those 2 defenders hung right with him at the time that reached him and knocked it away. This is a third down and 11. Crowd for Western on homecoming. They're down by 10. This would be a huge stop for Western Kentucky's defense. Vitsa is going to be run and dropped on a sack. First sack of the day by Western Kentucky, as they needed that one big time. And they get it. Secondary that time. Beard led the charge.
Well, a lot of jubilation, enthusiasm coming out. This was a blitz by Western Kentucky. Take a look at it. And, of course, you see Beard coming scot-free. Klein is in on it. Now, that's how you play defense right there. Not happy with that defense in the first half. I know that Coach Elson is not. And, boy, they started this series. They started the third quarter really playing some defense and being aggressive.
Coach, that's going to be the 9th sack in the last 4 games for Western Kentucky. They got 15 for the year at 24 last year. So their defense really giving a big moment there. Graber, one of his few drops on the kick, will be spun down right at the place that he caught it at the 42-yard line. So North Texas offense does not do what they wanted to do to get the start of the third quarter. Western defense does, and they'll give it back to the Topper offense.
This is where it all begins, with a community of 34,000 students, where the individual finds a voice, and one learns that the spark of an idea has the energy to change the world, where self-discovery leads to innovation, and everyone can discover the power of ideas. This is the University of North Texas. Discover it for yourself. Discover UNT.
We told you at the start of the show, North Texas playing a total of 17 freshmen. 12 of those are true freshmen. They've grown up a lot as they lead by 10. Coach, let's take a look at our Golden Flake keys to the game, see how the two teams are doing right now.
Well, certainly, as we take a look at here, North Texas, they did, first time this year, they really got out of the box, 21 points first quarter. They gave up 2 big plays at 30 yards, both on the opening drive. They've stopped that since then. For Western Kentucky, they're -2. They have not won the turnover battle. And their per rush is not good enough either, only 3.6. They need to be over 5.
Golden Flake keys to the game tells you how this one's going in favor of North Texas, but the Hilltoppers have it for the first time here in the third. Wilkie is the quarterback. Fakes the handoff. He's off on the run again. He's got that seam outside. He goes to the 49-yard line. It'll be at the 50 where his knee ruled in. That'll be shy of a first down by 2. A gain of 8 by Walke. He continues to pile up some yardage.
Well, and that's the first time this game that they've run what I call the two-back option, and it ends up being like the old counter option. And that's obviously the first time North Texas had seen it, and they weren't ready for it.
8 carries for 58 yards by Walke so far, and he's the leading rusher for Western Kentucky. Second down and about 2. Here's back again, Walke. Plenty of time to throw to the near sideline to Grabler. That one is knocked away. That ball kind of hung again and gave Darian Williams a chance to kind of turn around, and Grabler even was making a 360.
And really, Gabler did a nice job of being the defensive back. And take a look at it right here. Watch number 11, Gabler, end up knocking that ball away from the safety.
So you saw him converging on Grabler. He was looking for the ball inside. He came outside. And again, as Walke under pressure had to throw that one a little high. Third down, less than 2. Coach David Elson looking out on the sideline. 6th year here. And again, Western Kentucky enjoying 12 consecutive winning seasons. Right now struggling a bit as they throw it over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Grabler again. Well, that time, Walke, if he'd had a little extra time to look, he had Cooper streaking up the left side and might have had an opening.
Exactly. And, of course, again, you said it, the key thing was did not have time to find them and really threw that ball into double coverage.
There you see the first half compared to the second half.
Wow.
And you see the disparity of that particular stat.
Wow, that's amazing. 122 yards in their first 2 drives. In the last 6 drives, North Texas really started playing defense.
Western Kentucky with Jeremy Moore kicking it away. This ball will take a North Texas bounce and finally downed, and they'll do it at the 20-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for North Texas. Offense was 3 and out on the first time they had it to start the third. Defensively for Western did a nice job as Western Kentucky has played well on the defense so far in the third. I'd like to remind you, if you're looking for everything in the Sun Belt, it's sunbeltsports.org. Dial in there, you'll find out all the information. And if you go right now, you'll find out about Western Kentucky University winning men's and women's cross-country championship today. Held right here in Bowling Green. That, once again, is sunbeltsports.org. 1st and 10 to go for North Texas. Western Kentucky digging in. They get it out to the 23 as they try to test the middle. Doug, I made mention that North Texas wants to run the game and, of course, just wind out the clock, maybe go 3 and out with each team for a while here.
Well, this has been a crazy football game. I mean, the first 4 series of the game, nobody could stop anybody. And since then, both teams have played defense. Now, this is Western Kentucky has come out here in the third quarter, and they're jumping around and moving pretty good on defense right now.
Cam Montgomery now with a total of 84 yards rushing. This is Vitsa underneath coverage, gets it out for a first down as North Texas runs it ahead. They needed to get to the 31, and they will. And again, a big play there, again by North Texas, getting it out to Alex Lott. Lott, again, the sophomore transfer from Texas Lutheran from nearby Plano, as Waters made the stop for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, zone coverage, and Lott does a nice job right there of just sitting down as the inside receiver sat down in the soft spot of the zone.
You saw good coverage back there by Chris Bullard as well, trying to knock the ball away as the nickelback. 1st and 10 to go for, once again, North Texas. Out it comes, goes to Fitzgerald. Good close on the corner that time by Marcus Minor. And Fitzgerald had no place to go after the catch. They'll do gain 2 on the play.
Yeah, and you're right. The corner really made a nice break on that football. And, of course, that was a great catch, though, by Fitzgerald.
Coach, we've talked about Minor. Again, a senior out of Indianapolis. Played at actually Joliet High School in Illinois. And, of course, an outstanding young man as he transferred in here to Western. But he's played very well in the corner and a lot of times matched up one-on-one on Fitzgerald.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they have at Western a lot of players from Indianapolis, of course, the hometown of David Elson, and also the home of offensive coordinator Kevin Wright.
Here's another little out pattern going to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald down at the 40-yard line, shy of a first down by 2. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for North Texas. 10 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the third. First 9 minutes of the game. We had a total of 35 points scored in this game. 3 more points put on the board by North Texas, and a 24-14 lead here by North Texas. North Texas with a 3rd down and 2. Fitzgerald, by the way, with 199 catches for the year. Of course, the all-time leading reception leader of North Texas. This is Camry. Cam Montgomery in the secondary. Nobody can bring him down. Finally from behind, it's going to be Boyd, the linebacker. But Montgomery makes a big run before Boyd can catch him from behind. What a move by North Texas on the inside. Just a simply little belly series inside.
Yeah, that's just that simple zone read play, and the safety really misses the tackle right there, trying to tackle him by his wrist. I don't recommend that. Was Ryan Beard.
That was like catching hold of a bull by his tail. You weren't going to bring him down. North Texas again by 10. Big drive there, and they've got it inside the 25. Visa got to be dropped for the 2nd sack.
That was a face mask.
It'll be a face mask here called on Western Kentucky. We're delighted to be joined in our booth now by the athletic director for Western Kentucky University, our good friend Dr. Wood Seelick. Nice to have you aboard, and congratulations on homecoming today.
Thank you, Sam. It's been a great start to homecoming with 2 championships in our men's and women's cross country.
And, of course, that beautiful part of your stadium across the way, you got to be very pleased with that, Wood.
We are. This is all part of about a $50 million renovation and expansion of our football facility.
Defense number 4. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
Chuck Lewis is always interrupting us there, Wood. But, again, back to your renovations here at the stadium.
Yeah, we're very pleased. We're almost complete, about 2 months away from finishing nearly a $50 million renovation and expansion to Houchin Smith Stadium, and it's really part of our transition and evolution to the 1A level.
Halcon Industries, of course, the folks that have really helped you a great deal, haven't they?
They're great local partners located 3 miles down the road from our campus. They gave $5 million toward that $50 million renovation.
So again, Western Kentucky has to dig in as North Texas now moving to the 12-yard line and leading by 10 as we played 6 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Outside Montgomery. And he turns that corner, met resistance on that far side, and the ball is going to be loose, but they're going to rule it down at around the 9-yard line as North Texas picks up about 3 on the play. Wood, that's not only the thing that's happening here on campus. Of course, the baseball stadium a few years ago, you had to move the track from inside outside, and the track facility looks very nice.
We've invested nearly $90 million in the last 7 years in our softball, baseball complex, track complex, renovated basketball arena, and expanded football facility. So that speaks to the commitment of our institution toward intercollegiate athletics.
By the way, and of course, the coach's office looks like a boardroom over there. Boy, in your new part of the stadium, the coaches are very happy about that. As we've got a timeout taken on the field. Again, with Western Kentucky trailing by 10, 24-14. Wood, the overall growth of the athletic program, but one thing in talking to Coach Elston is the fact that he's really put a real emphasis on athletics. And after all, that's why they're here as student athletes.
Well, this is really part of our transition process. We know we're probably a few years away from being able to compete on the field, but certainly academically, we want to be able to compete every single season. And Coach Elston's doing a great job of recruiting outstanding students and athletes to our program.
Nice to have Coach Harbaugh and the other coaches that were honored at halftime back with you.
Well, 2002, WKU won the 1AA National Championship. Coach Harbaugh led us to that national championship after starting 2-3 that year. And he also helped keep WKU with a football program. In the mid-90s, there was talk about dropping football at WKU. And had that gone through, I hate to think of what we might be institutionally and athletically without a football program and without the transition to the highest level of competitive football.
By the way, this is being reviewed by the upstairs booth. As was it a fumble or not a fumble as Montgomery, and you saw 3 or 4 different looks at this. Here's another one from behind. Again, these are being viewed by the officials in the booth. And Montgomery has to be down before that ball is coming out. That probably will not tell you. As you see, the ball is up. Did his knee touch down before it sprung into the air?
Boy, this is going to be a very tough call for the Sunbelt replay booth upstairs here, because that was very close.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think it was a fumble.
Of course, you wouldn't be prejudiced at all, I don't think, right? Well, you know, as we do this, this is my first visit here, Doctor, and I'll tell you, what a beautiful campus, what a great facility. This is a hot school. I mean, everything, the enrollment is shooting up. Everything is going.
WKU's enrollment now approaches 20,000. We're the fastest growing higher education institution in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So we're quickly becoming the institution of choice, not just for in-state high school students, but also from students all across the country and internationally as well.
Doctor, we want to tell you that,
the ruling on the field stands, second down.
So again, they did rule that he was down before the fumble. Good barbecue out in the tailgate area, too.
I tell you, homecoming always brings out the best cooks that you'll ever see. And I wish we had half of the people that stayed out on the field for homecoming and refused to come in, because we could have exceeded capacity today if we would have gotten everyone in from those tents out there.
One final question for you. Of course, you exceeded 17,000 with Murray State this year. And that, of course, one of the big crowds you've had and enjoyed here.
Yeah, we had 23,000 for the Murray State game, and we had over 7,000 students at that particular contest. Our students line up behind the visiting team and a real force during a game.
So the 17 average again, approaching a school record here by Western Kentucky. As you see a stop of the play, and as they do stop here, Dr. Wood-Selig, thanks for joining us, and thanks for the hospitality here. You, along with Todd Stewart, have been very, very good hosts. We appreciate it.
We hope you come back many times.
Give my best to Dr. Ransdell. He's done a great job here.
We will. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Dr. Wood-Selig, again, has been our guest here at the third quarter break as his Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are down by 10, 24-14, and Coach Elston trying to pump them up. Travis Llewellyn of the Sun Belt Conference staying at a Sleep Inn last night here in Bowling Green, one of our many Choice Hotels International. With that, let's take a look at next week's schedule of games around the belt. That will include, of course, Monroe going to Middle Tennessee. Western will be going to Troy. Tough game for them. North Texas against FAU. Arkansas State back in the conference against FIU. And Doug and I'll be down in Lafayette as ULL will play host for the University of Texas at El Paso. Check your local listing and station in your market for Sun Belt Conference football. Well, after the ruling of being a non-fumble, it's a second down and a ball at the 10-yard line. It's 2nd and 8 here by the Mean Green. Beats a back to throw. Has been sacked a couple of times. He fades in the end zone. Stickler's got it. Touchdown, North Texas. What a great thrown ball that was by Visa.
Well, you know, there wasn't much room to fit that in, and you're right. He put that ball in perfectly on the corner route, straight man-to-man coverage. Really a nice loft on the ball. Take a look at it now. Look at Visa here. Nice touch. Put it right up over the top of the defender. That was perfectly executed offensively. Really tough to stop.
Coach, go figure. Stickler had not caught a touchdown pass until today, and he makes 2 catches for touchdowns. But it is his day.
Go figure, this whole game has been crazy.
The extra point by Jeremy Knott out of the hold of Phillips, and it's up, and it is good. So another 7 points on the board for North Texas. Watch this pass, the feathery touch of Visa.
And that's exactly it. Nice touch right into that's why they call it a corner route, right into the corner of the end zone.
And you saw the nickelback in that situation well behind Chris Bullard. And Stickler makes another touchdown catch here for Todd Dodge. And I think this is the offense not only Todd Dodge has been looking for, but North Texas fans as well.
Well, exactly. And the key issue is today, no turnovers.
Right.
That's been their problem, really. Minus 16. You know, if you average 8 games, if you average -2 per game, you're not going to win many games.
Stickler last year caught a couple of touchdown passes in catching 391 yards. You see his numbers today with those 2 touchdowns. He, by the way, is selling hello to those fans back in Dallas that'll be watching our game. And happy to have all of our network stations along the way.
You know, and you remember, Sam, we asked Coach Dodge earlier in the season, you know, why is Stickler not getting the football? And he said, you know what, we've done a poor job of getting him the ball. And since then, he has been on a tear. He's had an outstanding season. He's got, let's see, coming into this game, you know, he had 26 catches, and boy, he's added to that total today.
Willis and McLeod will field this kick from Knott as North Texas now adding another 7, lead 31-14. McLeod at the 3. Andrew to the 10, to the 15, to the 20.
Look out
to the 35. He's on his way. Needs a blocker too, but North Texas finally chases him down at the 33-yard line. McLeod inside his own 5 takes it to the 33 on the other end of the field. Wow.
Well, this is a bad matchup, and again, once he sees the crack, McLeod right here, once he sees that crack, and I thought this could have been a clip right there, but I think they might have got away with one.
61 yards on the return by McLeod. Yeah, I'd be breathing hard too. I'd be dying on the sideline after running 61 yards. But McLeod, who actually has been dynamite on these kickoff returns today, he along with Willis, has given Wolke and company a chance to get in great field position. 7:54 to go in the third. 31-14 though. North Texas with the lead. Here they get it on the sweep to the right side, and they get it to Willis. Willis down to the 10-5. Touchdown, Western Kentucky. 32 yards on the receiver around as he came out of the slot and takes it home.
Well, it ran the reverse, and they've been watching that pursuit now the whole game upstairs. Has Kevin Wright, and that was exactly the right time to call that play. And wow, you talk about some fireworks in a rapid way. Kickoff return analysis. Here's the reverse right here. Very, very well blocked. Shows a good burst going down the sideline right there. Nice job of sticking it in.
I tell you another thing he did, that was Nwigwe, their middle linebacker, that took a shot at him. He was able to run through it and get in the end zone. Another great catch and run, again by Stephen Willis. Willis takes it home, and that will be his first touchdown of the year. Here's the point after it's up, and it is good. So maybe the shootout has started again. It's 31-21. North Texas leads by 10. 7:44 to go in our Sun Belt Conference game of the week. Boy, they've been shaking and baking here today. 18,879. They'd hoped for right at 20, but a great crowd to watch homecoming here at Western Kentucky University. There's a good look at David Elson, the head coach now in his 6th year here at Western Kentucky. An assistant under the Hall of Famer Jack Harbaugh. He too was a fine player at Butler. He was a 3-year starter at safety, and of course his team won the conference championship sophomore and junior year while he was at Butler in Indianapolis. Here goes Shorter on the kickoff for North Texas. Gets a big hit. The ball is loose, and Western Kentucky, I think, has come up with it. Shorter was hit hard as he made a move to the outside, and now look at him as they tried to unscramble inside. I can imagine there's some nastiness going on, and getting up number 24, Chris Franklin, has made the fumble recovery.
Oh, how quick things can change. Let's take a look at it here. It was fumbled by Shorter. That ball was stripped, and that was Ben Duval, the linebacker, that came in with his left hand and knocked that football out of there.
You know, Ben Duval's had a couple of big hits, and now a super big play on defense for Western Kentucky there.
Yep.
So again, as the Western Kentucky offense goes to work, the defense, headed up by their head coach, David Elston, has done their job on the special teams kick. 1st and 10 to go. Wolke has stayed in all but one series tonight. He too throws the little flare to the corner. It is touchdown.
Wow.
What a catch by Cooper. Touchdown, Western Kentucky. Here we go again.
Well, you know, we just had a great corner route thrown by North Texas. That was a great fade and a terrific, terrific throw by Wolke, because that was well covered. I mean, that was excellent coverage. Take a look at it now, and just the fade route. Puts it up there, hangs it up there. Nice coverage. Great job, though. Great throw. Nice job by the wide receiver. Wow.
Extra point here by Western Kentucky. Tanner Seward will try to do it. There's a bad snap. Seward will try to run it on the right side. Seward still trying to get in, but he'll be knocked out of bounds. Uh-oh. That's going to make it a 31-27 game. That was a huge extra point miss by Western Kentucky. That, by the way, was the 4th scoring drive under 30 seconds of play, and the 3rd scoring drive under 20 seconds. So lightning is struck.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 16.
Wow.
A penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. We will replay the try.
Wow.
Well, that's a big break for the Hilltoppers. As again, the kick man, as Seward was caught but drugged down by the face mask.
All right, we're going to take a look at this penalty now. Let's see. You make the call here.
Oh, yeah.
No question about that. No question. That's an excellent call.
Now, here's that very important extra point we made mention. Another low snap. And they were able to get that one up. And no good. He missed it to the right. Snap that time coming back was a little low. Josh Stinson, the deep snapper. The holder is the punter, Jeremy Moore. But that one came short, and he misses it wide right.
Well, that means they're probably going to have to go for 2 on their next score. Here's the touchdown now. Look at the throw by Wolke. Just perfect. Perfect. Receiver did a nice job of keeping, some distance from the sideline, which is a key thing on the fade routes to give a quarterback a chance to throw it inside.
Adrian Adams of Oklahoma City, the defender on it, but was beaten. And again, a great pass again by Wolke. We've seen a couple of excellent thrown fade routes by Vitsa, and now here one by Wolke. And we're back into a foot race to the finish. Back here at homecoming. Here at Bowling Green, Kentucky, you see the crowd of nearly 19,000 looking on as North Texas comes visiting on Western Kentucky, along with their coach Doug Graber and Sam Smith. And what another great crew, headed up by our producer Howard Miller today for ESPN Plus. And of course, you take a look at the Guthrie Tower that just is off the end zone to our left. North Texas last win November 24th of a year ago versus Western Kentucky, and they won by a single point. Don't forget, for more Sun Belt Conference football action coming your way on many of these stations. We'll talk more about that in a moment, as Texas El Paso will be going up against ULL. Here's Shorter. Shorter breaks the first wave of defenders for Western Kentucky, and he moves it out to around the 36. We have seen some great returns by both North Texas and by Western Kentucky. Beard finally making the stop there for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, the starting position for both offenses has been very, very good. Most of them, I'd say, averaging about the 39-yard line by my count.
Well, you see the haze hanging over the field. That's the fireworks that went off doing a very important touchdown. And again, missing the extra point, it still stays a 4-point lead by North Texas. There's our next game. Check your local station and time for the game as Texas El Paso, the Miners, against the Cajuns of ULL. Inside handoff to Montgomery, and Cam is ripped off his feet. What a nice job by Boyd.
Boyd, that outside linebacker, he knifed in and got that penetration. Outstanding play for the young guy from Madisonville, Kentucky.
You know, they were worried about him. He had to sit out the spring with an injury, a starter in 07. But he came in and he's really had a great time. 47 tackles coming in, 7 of those tackles for loss, and he's made 3.5 sacks. So he has had a very productive year on a year they were a little questioned after the injury. 2nd down and 9 for North Texas.
4 wide receivers, 4 receivers, audible blitz.
Here they come. And it's just off his shoe tops. That's going to be Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald into the secondary, still bumped, still on his feet. Finally going to be brought down by Etheridge. It just had to take about a 3rd effort to get him down. Boy, did he catch that one just about an inch off the turf.
I don't know how he come up with his foot. Take a look at this.
Of course, the fans here looking at a replay on their big screens here. North Texas trying to get a playoff. They don't want this one reviewed.
Right, and here comes the review. Yep,
there it is.
And I think rightfully so. In our shot there, let's take a look at see another look at this. Let's see.
This will probably be a little better here.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that ball, the tip of that ball, this is going to be brought back. I am almost sure of that. The tip of that ball, you could see it bounce off the turf.
That, by the way, another big catch by Fitzgerald as he nears the 200 reception mark for his campaign. And again, the all-time reception leader at North Texas.
Yep, that ball, the tip of the ball definitely hit the turf. I'm virtually certain this will be brought back. This is the great thing about replay. You know, the official might have been blocked there. I mean, couldn't see it clearly, but the views that we have pretty clearly show that ball hit the ground.
So again, as they replay up in the booth, North Texas has been one of those teams that's been a good feeder to the National Football League. They fit more. Oh, it's 77 players since the draft started in 1936. Of course, the best known is Mean Joe Green, number 4 pick back in '69 to Pittsburgh. Arkansas State has sent 46 in the draft to the National Football League. Troy has had 2 first-rounders in the last 5 years, DeMarcus Ware of Dallas, and of course Leotis McKelvin going to Buffalo. Both of those taken number 11 in the first round. So some great NFL stars being groomed right here in the Sun Belt Conference. And Coach, you've seen it grow every year. It's been unbelievable. In the 5 years that Sam, you and I have been doing the games, it's been amazing how the Sun Belt Conference has come on so strong. Great coaches in this conference. People are building facilities. Here we're going to get the call.
After review, the pass on the field was incomplete. 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 6 minutes and 35 seconds.
Coach, you still got those eyes, my buddy.
Well, I mean, that's just the great thing about replay. I mean, that was an obvious, after you saw it on tape, an obvious mistake. And, for the good of the game, you just need to see those things corrected. That was a big play. Now that sets up 3rd and 9.
Beats has had an opportunity to visit with Todd Dodge on the sideline. Of course, Todd Ford is up in the booth, listed as their offensive coordinator, but Coach Dodd makes the calls after getting a conversation with Ford up in the booth, and they've made the call on this 3rd and 9. North Texas leading by 4, 6:35 on the 3rd. Pizza gets some rush. He's out of the pocket, dumps it off short. There's a flag down as they get it ahead, and he may have been across the line of scrimmage.
Look at Dan Klein pointing to the flag out there. They held me. They got him.
So Klein again, who has had some great race there. Klein out of Centerville, Ohio, a December grad. And I tell you what, with a smile on his face, he said, yeah, 3.52 grade point average. Corporation Organizational Communications.
I can't even pronounce that.
Holy cow, what is that?
Holding offense number 77, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
So now it makes that 3rd down and long yardage here now by North Texas. Defense of Western Kentucky doing what they need to do. And that's keep the pressure here on the Mean Green.
You know, I've got to say this, the Hilltopper defense has done a very, very good job in the second half of showing one look, coming back and playing. That time they showed a blitz look, came out of it late, and ended up playing a 2-deep zone.
So a 3rd down, 19 yards needed here by the Mean Green. Giovanni Visa, the sophomore from San Antonio, will dial it in here. Much of a rush, has time. Now the pocket breaks down, and he's down.
Klein.
It's the 3rd sack of the night, and Dan Klein comes up with one there.
Well, we visited with him yesterday, and he talked about, he says, I want to be the leader. I am the leader. I need to be the leader, and he was showing great leadership right there.
Let's take a look at it again. Klein, who came here as a 210-pounder, got up to about 270, plays at 265 right now. And good movement by Klein.
They beat their best lineman, Esteban Santiago.
Yep. So it's kick time here for North Texas.
Wow.
They get it out of there with Spencer. He drives Gabriel all the way back to his 25. Gabriel will be out at about the 35, but a flag is down, and that may be a block to the back at around the 25.
Yeah, that was definitely a clip, and that was Trent Calhoun. No question about it, right in front of the official. They're not going to miss that one.
You know, when you take a look at this stadium, we talked to, of course, Dr. Wood Seelick about the addition on the west side with the great training room and the weight room and etc. Let's get this call.
On the return, illegal block in the back, return team, number 47. Penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10, Western Kentucky.
Let's take a look at you see the west side, beautiful sunset here, by the way, in Bowling Green, but there is the new addition. There was nothing over there, folks, until they rebuilt it. Let's take a look at that return here. There's
47,
the block.
Calhoun, right there. No question about that one.
So march it off back inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. A 4-point lead by North Texas with 5:18 left to go. Here in the third quarter, a hectic first quarter. 21-14 in favor of North Texas. And, of course, they led by 10 at the half, 24-14. Wolke staying in. He's going to throw it to the far side, going out to Graber. Whitman makes the catch, but he lost control.
Well, they're going to call him down. They're going to call that a catch.
By contact to the ground, the ball is loose. Graber making another sensational catch for the Hilltoppers.
Well, this is an out-and-up route, and they've been setting this up all day. And again, caught him in man. Oh, I don't know. You know what? This one might be reviewed too. I'm not sure that ball wasn't pulled out.
You saw Williams, who was actually face guarding in that situation. He turns around. He might have an opportunity to catch it. Yep, that is close.
I'll be shocked if this hasn't gone up to the replay.
You know, we talked to the officials last night, the replay people. We said, they said, we hope we don't do much. Well, they're doing a lot tonight and always doing a great job.
Yeah, and they're trying to get all of these calls done, within a minute. Boy,
Yep.
I think he pulled it out before he hit the ground.
By the way, we were talking about Travis Llewellyn of the Sun Belt Conference, and he, along with the championship people, oversaw the cross-country championship today with Western Kentucky, both the men and the women coming up with the championship. Our congratulations to the Hilltopper, a great host to the cross-country championship. One more look at it here.
Folks, you make the call.
Great catch, though. And that it looked like it went between his legs.
Yeah, I think it came out. I think this is good. I would say that this would be overturned.
By the way, Chuck Lewis has spent almost as much time on the headsets as we have tonight, as a matter of fact.
But remember that they have to have the call. It was called complete on the field. They have to have conclusive evidence. And I think it came out. It looked like it may have come out, but can they say it was conclusive? They're looking at the same views that you're looking at.
By the way, we'll check in our truck to see if we had any of those BCS scores from this afternoon. There were some big ones. And of course, later tonight, number 1 Texas against number 7 Texas Tech, is the BCS is off and running with their top 10. And again, in addition to Florida and Georgia playing down in Jacksonville, 6 against 8.
Florida was pounding Georgia at one point, the last score that I saw.
There you see the two coaches looking on, and this, I think, is the nature of the beast in the Sun Belt Conference. Young coaches.
After review, the ruling on the field, the pass is incomplete, 2nd down.
Yep. Nice job.
So incomplete, back it'll come. That time Graber made a great try at it, but again, never had full control. Williams, Darian Williams, was the defender, young man out of Vernon, Texas.
Really did Williams did a nice job there with his left hand of pulling that ball out, and again, running with his back to the ball did not interfere, and that takes a lot of patience. That's tough to teach as a defensive secondary coach.
Coach, they were talking about the signs. You take a look at Coach Dodd looking on one side, hoping his defense, the signs of 212. And, of course, the temperature that water boils, they think they're playing at 211 at Western, only just 1 degree away from being a very good football team.
Absolutely.
And they're playing very well today, but North Texas right now is playing even better. Wolke again out of that shotgun, flares it to the far side, and he's got a completion down to around the 31-yard line, and he's kind of spreading it around. That time it goes to Jesse Quinn, young man out of Bradenton, Florida, Manatee High School. He is a 5th-year senior, makes his first reception tonight.
First sprint out tonight for Wolke, where he did a nice job of getting his shoulders and hips turned and made an excellent throw.
First down for the Hilltoppers. You saw Graber was out there in that same pattern. He had gone underneath and Quinn had gone up. First and 10, man in motion. That's Willis. They fake that end around. Now they take it on the run by Wolke, and he'll gain about 6 on the play. Make it 7 as he dives forward for a 2nd and 3.
Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention that for Western Kentucky, they really lost their leading running back, Bobby Rainey, and they lost their speed receiver, Darius Brooks, a young man who had been a 100-meter champion out of Georgia. So they've lost 2 really good football players, and of course, also they lost K.J. Black.
Brooks broke his foot in the Murray State game, and of course, knee injury going to Rainey against FAU 2 weeks ago. Here's going to be a ball thrown well out of bounds by Wolke. Had no chance to get it to anybody. Good secondary coverage that time by North Texas.
Yeah, good throwaway. He did absolutely the correct thing. Again, another sprint out. He was moving. He was out of the pocket. It was well covered. Get rid of the football.
Coach, you watched middle linebacker Toby Nwigwe, who comes out with their nickel package coming in. He's not only a good run support guy, but he actually covers pretty good in the secondary.
He really does. He's very, very impressive, for Gary DeLoach, the defensive coordinator.
North Texas now stacked in there with a 4-down lineman, nickel package in on a 3rd down and 3 situation for Western. Western Kentucky looks near side. They've got a completion. It's to Cooper, and Cooper's out for the 1st down.
Absolute bullet by Wolke right here. And again, they read the zone. He sat down, delivered the football on time. Almost impossible to stop. Take a look at it. Watch this. Wait. I mean, this one really zipped in there. Very, very difficult to cover in the zone.
Oldest city in America, St. Augustine. In Florida, of course, his home. That is Quinteris Cooper. As they check off from the sideline. Trips right for Western Kentucky. Again, they trail by 4 just in the 3rd quarter with 3:33 left to go. They swing it out, goes to Grabler. Grabler will have some running room. And finally is barged out of bounds quite hard inside the 45-yard line.
Boy, he lowered his shoulder right there. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He does it all. This is just a little flare wide receiver screen. Excellent blocking by the wide receivers downfield.
There you see the numbers on Grabler tonight. What a big night for him with 123 yards and 1 touchdown. Brings up a 2nd down and short. They need only 2. Low snap. Wolke will keep it on his own. They got the 1st down inside the 40-yard line to around the 37.5. I think that play probably was designed to do a little bit more. That low snap may have sent it in the direction of Wolke.
Well, this is what a senior quarterback does for you. It didn't lose his poise. This is just an ISO player, a quarterback draw. Now there's his strength shows. He's a stud quarterback now. He's not. We talked to him yesterday. He's pretty well put together.
And as you mentioned, injured himself in the weight room last year, but still continues to work out. Wolke at 205. Kylie Hill at 186. That was a head-on collision. 1st and 10 to go for Western Kentucky. There's the inside fake. Comes again to Wolke. Well, he says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he's carrying that ball with authority.
You know, last year, of course, the game was won by North Texas 27-26. Zone read play. Nice fake there. Faked Sykes right out at the defensive end. But, again, this looks like it's going to come right down to the wire again.
Wolke, of course, would like to have that 1 interception back. He has a touchdown to go with that 184 yards. A dozen completions on 21 attempts. 2nd down. 4 yards needed. Back again. Wolke in the pocket. Plenty of time. He has the crossing pattern at the goal line. Incomplete. Intended for Graves.
And of course, the Western Kentucky, the Hilltopper fans wanted to see some interference there, but that was pretty well played by the defender.
Well, an Oklahoma City youngster by the name of Adrian Adams makes this play for North Texas. Wow.
Well, that's close. Might have had a little bit of contact early.
Here's a good look at Adams. He'll be playing center field again on a 3rd down and 4. Let's see if Wolke dials in his own number again. He's got Hayden as the running back with him. Now he's definitely throwing. He throws it out to the right side, and he's got another completion to Quinn.
Nice job of getting the 1st down. Knew exactly what he needed. excellent execution offensively.
You know, Quinn's getting some extra time as the season wears on after a terrific spring. They said he was one of the really bright spots of that receiving corps.
Yep. All the receivers on both these teams are what I call pluckers. I mean, they pluck the ball with their hands. You were a former tight end. You know that.
Yep.
You don't catch it against your body. You catch it with your hands.
Hayden in the open to the right side. 10,
out.
5, touchdown, Western Kentucky. 25-yard run that time by Hayden. Boy, Coach, that hole really opened up nicely. And once he got the edge, there was no stopping him.
Yeah, the right side of that offensive line, Preston King and Greg Ryan. I mean, wow. Just look at the gash right here. Wow.
So again now, the worm has turned as Western Kentucky goes up in the lead with a score of 33-31. Now with a very important extra point for them coming. This time it's up, and I don't think there's any doubt about that one. It is squared through. This is the first Western Kentucky lead since they led 14-7 with 10:20 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, this was just an absolute gash. He wasn't touched. He was untouched all the way to the end zone.
So 34-31, 3-point lead, Western Kentucky. You know, a lot of people said, Sam and Doug, you're going to Western Kentucky. Let's see, they've won a couple of games. North Texas is winless. Sometimes those games mount up to be some of the best games you'll play. Hungry teams that actually are pretty fairly even, and it turns out that we were exactly right with this one tonight.
Well, you know, whatever happens tonight, North Texas defensive coordinator Gary DeLoach, this is the first sign of life that he's had from his defense this year. Let's be honest. And they have played second quarter and the third quarter with a lot of enthusiasm, have played hard. There you see the scoring drive right there, 11 for 83 yards, 11 plays. But this is really a sign of some life in that North Texas defense. All those young kids playing.
By the way, Hayden, who's mounting up a charge tonight, he had 84 yards rushing against Florida Atlantic 2 weeks ago. As the kick goes deep, this is shorter at his own 2. They'll bring it out to around the 20. Nope, wait a minute. It's going to be another player. That's going to be Royce Hill, a defensive back, and Hill off to the races to the far sideline, and out of bounds he goes. Shorter and Hill were back there. They actually flip-flopped. Shorter has been on the right side, and Hill this time went to the right and fields that long kick. Finally banged out of bounds by number 24. That's Chris Franklin, who's had a couple of big stops tonight for Western Kentucky.
You know, every kickoff coverage team has a contain guy to the wide side of the field, and they broke contain. They lost their discipline right there, and that resulted in that big return.
So a 1st and 10 to go for North Texas. They've had good kickoff returns. They've done a good job of giving their offense some excellent field position, and they will get another one here at the Western Kentucky 48-yard line. And the smoke of the touchdown and the extra point by Western is still hanging as they try to get this time the reverse to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is banged from behind and pushed forward to the 38. So Fitzgerald on another one of those nice carries is finally knocked down from behind, that time by Kyle Anderson out of Bloomington, Minnesota. He, by the way, was listed in the spring as the best improved defensive lineman.
Good hustle right there by the big lineman all the way to the sideline.
Carrying 275, 6'4", just a sophomore. So some growing to do. That was a gain of 9. And here is Montgomery. He'll get the first down near the 35. Coach, you know, one of the things outside of Visa, of course, their running game has been rather conservative, but it's been very useful in the fact it's been the 2, 3, 4-yard carries, which has set up some good offense for them.
Yeah, and Montgomery, you know, he hits it up in there, and he runs north and south. He's not real fancy, but you know he's averaging 5.4 per carry for the year. He's got some real ability, that young man.
So it's Cam Montgomery running the football for North Texas, gives them another 1st and 10. He's the lone running back there with Vita. This has knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be Boyd. The outside linebacker, as Blake got a hand up and knocks it away. He's got one interception this year, and had that ball bounced a little higher, he might add a second one.
Well, and we've called Boyd's name a lot today. He's been very, very active. Here's a great view of it right there. Wow, he almost could have intercepted that ball right off the bat.
Coach, this is a 6'3", 250 linebacker that runs well as a junior. He might have an opportunity to get a little bit of a look. You never know.
Oh, absolutely.
Second down and 10 for North Texas. Montgomery's had 21 rushes for 127 yards and a touchdown tonight. Yes, he has run mostly between the tackles, but has busted a couple outside. A whistle before that play ever got off. And away Vitsa is applauding it.
Timeout.
Looks like it might go against North Texas. No, he says we called the timeout before anything happened.
They were trying to get the audible in again because Western Kentucky was stemming on defense, and they just they just didn't have enough time.
Coach, we talked to several around the league, and of course the improvement. And from the outside looking in, people are also giving us more and more on the Sun Belt. The coaches, 2 young ones here tonight. Also the opportunity, they're getting national television. They're getting better players because of their affiliations, not only with the R&L Carrier Bowl, but also the Papa John Bowl, the St. Petersburg Bowl, and also the Independence Bowl. 4 opportunities to send a team to the bowl. You put all those 3 things together, and the Sun Belt is really on the climb.
And you throw in facilities that the schools have done. This one here is, Sam, I go to a lot of the, quote, big-time schools around the country. This facility is good as anybody's.
So the Hilltoppers now, you take a look at the affiliation. All of this made by Wright Waters, the commissioner of the Sun Belt. Got those agreements. You see St. Pete Bowl would be first, followed by the New Orleans Bowl, Papa John, and then the Independence Bowl. Troy is the only team with a win tonight. Could be bowl eligible at the moment. Another one knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And they got through there in a hurry, and that's Ryan Beard. I tell you what, Beard and Boyd not only sounds like a good law firm, but they've been a whale of a defensive unit.
It's 2 consecutive plays where they went up in the air to not only deflect the ball, they could have intercepted.
So the defense of Western Kentucky comes up with a stand. And with a minute 50 left to go in the third, Western Kentucky up by 3. Well, as the moon shines here over Bowling Green, Kentucky, the coach, Doug Graber, yours truly, Sam Smith, and take a look at that. 35 points in the first quarter. Of course, with North Texas leading 21-14 and 24-14 at the half. But look at this, Coach. After a touchdown by North Texas, 20 unanswered points by Western Kentucky.
Yeah, they came out the third quarter. Their defense was much enthused.
Third down and 11. Here's a pass over to the right side. It's going to be complete. What a catch made by Fitzgerald.
Is
wow.
Right there is why he's an All-American.
They, by the way, stay 500 as far as third down plays. They're 6 of 12 tonight.
This is defended about as well as you can do it, man, on a crossing route. And look at this catch. Wow, that's great concentration by Fitzgerald. Good throw by Bisa. Well defended. I mean, what can you say? That's a great play by both sides.
Trent Calhoun will probably say the same thing for Western Kentucky. How'd he catch that ball? 1st and 10 to go for the Mean Green as they're inside the 20 of the Hilltoppers. Coach, you were also right. The last team to touch the ball may be the winner tonight. Touchdown as he threw a bullet to the end zone. Boy, another nice throw by Vitsa, and he gets it right on the money that time to Kevin Dickerson. Dickerson caught a couple of plays early in the game, but now that little slant gets him right in for another 6 points by North Texas.
This is what's called the San Diego post. It's a 5-step throw just inside between the hash and the numbers. It's a timing route. It's very difficult to defend. Obviously, the reason it's called the San Diego post, that was Dan Fouts made that play famous with Don Coryell.
It's blocked.
This can be returned.
It can indeed.
If he can ever pick it up.
It's still down at the 5. And my suggestion is just to lay down with it.
If he could have picked it up, he'd have had a chance.
Wow. That still makes it now a 3-point game at 37-34. So both teams have now mixed an extra point. Let's see who might have got a hand on this.
That was, that angle looked like it was blocked up inside on penetration inside. Pick up the ball. Don't be in a hurry.
You know what almost looked like? It almost like the holder got a hand up. It's unbelievable. And Coach Elson very, very happy with that.
Come on, we can run it back. Pick it up. Okay, that's it.
Find a handle on it, will you? Now there you see the man Dickerson that caught the touchdown pass. The extra point is no good. After 20 unanswered points by Western Kentucky, Todd Dodge and his Mean Green once again have made another comeback, leading by 3, 37-34.
Boy, this game back and forth, back and forth.
Let's take a look at our Havoc out-of-town scoreboard. Of course, number 2 Alabama, 35-0 over Arkansas State. And in the third quarter, Louisiana Lafayette has now exploded for a 40-14 lead over FIU. Troy now trailing at Louisiana Monroe as Charlie Willoughby's club has an 8-0 lead there in the first.
So Louisiana Lafayette stays undefeated. That puts them 4-0 in the Sun Belt, and Troy is hanging on. That's on the road at Louisiana Monroe.
If Louisiana Lafayette wins, they'll be 4-0. Troy is already 4-0.
Yep.
And a tough type of play at the University of Louisiana Monroe. Here's the kick return, and back it comes. This is going to be, is that Booker? No, it's Willis. Willis will take it all the way back. There is a flag down way back upfield.
That's coming back.
As again, Willis made another great return of it, but they'll bring this one back, and it's going to be against Western Kentucky.
On the return, blocking the back, number 6 on the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Western Kentucky.
Well, Willis almost got some numbers on the board. Of course, they had kicked it to McLeod most of the night. McLeod only did this, 131 yards returning, his first game as a returner tonight.
Not bad. They're probably going to put him back there again, I would think. So that's good coaching. I learned that a long time ago.
Oh, by the way, the 6:30 is just going by.
Yeah. Watch this block right here at the top of the screen. Right there, number 40. Absolutely, that was Jared Johnson, a senior fullback. Wow.
Finally catching up with the play was Royce Hill, but they'll bring it back, and it'll be Western Kentucky's ball at their own 11-yard line. So a lot of yardage between they and a chance to regain the lead again. There's that little slant handoff inside as they try to gain some running room in tight, as Hayden will gain only a little bit of yardage, maybe a yard at most, and maybe not even that.
This has been a beleaguered North Texas defense all year long. I mean, they have struggled mightily. They were giving up 487 yards a game, and there you saw Gary DeLoach, the defensive coordinator, but they're showing signs of real improvement in life tonight.
Here once again is going to be the inside as the ball is loose. Walke going down. They rule he's down by contact at around the 15. Now they rule it down around the 12. So he touched a knee in there before falling forward to the 15.
Yep.
So only a gain of on the play of 1. It brings up now a third down. Now they're giving a few more yards up, not beyond the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, they got the spot corrected. Now 3rd and 5. This is a big play for the Hilltoppers.
There you see the remaining winless teams, North Texas and Washington. Wow, the Huskies 0-7. 4 for 10 tonight on third down conversions for the Hilltoppers. And before that play can get anything done, a whistle will sound to stop the play.
There was some movement up front, I think.
Timeout. Western Kentucky, that is their second timeout of the second half.
So again, their offense a little discombobulated, so they wanted to make sure, particularly down here this close with North Texas looking like they can score from almost anywhere. And so far the Mean Green have. They lead it by 3. Well, Western Kentucky invited Troy as their hometown homecoming opponent last year, losing 21-17. And tonight they're finding out inviting North Texas is not a good idea either. Look at this total yardage, Coach. Nearly 800 yards of total yards.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. A big offensive night by both teams.
Well, a 3rd down and 5 fronting the Hilltoppers now. As back is Walke, steps up into the pocket. He's going to have to run for it. He's got the first down all the way out to the 29-yard line. But another flag is down way across the field. The linesman on the far sideline has tossed a flag.
Both of these quarterbacks have played extremely well.
Offside. Defense, number 61. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
So the Hilltoppers get another one of those big runs out of Walke.
A 15-yard carry by David Walke.
You know, again, that's one of the benefits of the spread offense. You spread the field so much, and it opens up running lanes for the quarterback. Now, North Texas, pretty good hit. North Texas was man-to-man there, so again, that opens up a big lane.
Well, that's the beauty of having a quarterback that can scramble and run as Walke can. Certainly Visa on the other side as he makes something out of that. Inside handoff to Hayden. He cuts it outside. He's got a little room at the 40. Makes one move at the 45 and dives ahead to around the 49-yard line. Another big gain on the play. They get about 19 out of that play. And a first down for Western Kentucky. Oh, my, what a shootout tonight here at Bowling Green.
Unbelievable. You know, both teams, of course, we haven't had a huddle all night. Take a look at it here. You know, nobody huddles anymore. I mean, I'm a huge, huge fan of the spread offenses. They just, it's an exciting game.
Trips to the left side of Walke. 93 rushing yards for Walke tonight. 13 of 23 for 190 and 2 touchdowns so far for the Western Kentucky thrower who underthrows Graber that time. Had some pretty good blocking out on that corner.
Yeah, he did. That's one of the first, bad throws he's had tonight. You know, and this, I mean, if you really think about it, these offenses go back to the single wing. I mean, you've got one guy that's handling the football almost all the time, running it. You know, throwing it, option football, spread the field. Tough to defend, very tough to defend.
2nd down and 10 yards to go here for Western Kentucky. Ball just shy of midfield. Hayden stays in as the lone running back. Walke will take it up. He gets a block at the line of scrimmage at the 40. Walke's got some running room up the near sideline. Still moving. Down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Walke has done another one of those great little tightrope walks and makes a huge gain out of it for the Hilltoppers.
Well, North Texas brought the blitz, and this is the perfect call to have on. Take a look at this. Here comes the blitz. And now, once he breaks that, very well blocked, by the way, once he breaks the first wave, I mean, there's nobody left. There's nobody to take him.
Finally coming up was Gilmore from behind again to make the catch of Walke, who sets up the 1st and 10. It is spotted at the 15. Handoff goes to Hayden. Hayden will fight for a couple of yards, but that's about all. As he tests that left side of the defense, Thomas and Sykes for North Texas.
Now, the Western Kentucky has been 90% in the red zone. They've been pretty darn effective in the red zone. Let's see if they can stick this one in. Remember, they're down by 3, so field goal here ties. But obviously, Coach Elson, he wants the touchdown.
Walke with a couple of long carries. That one 35 plus as he gets it down to the 15. And now 2nd down. They rule him just a yard on the play, so 2nd and 9. Here's the fake handoff. Walke's got it. Up the middle, goes to the 5, goes to the touchdown. No signal yet.
I don't think so. No, I think that's a good call. His knee was down.
Just shy of about a football. 10:24 left to go. I think Walke really wanted that one.
He really did. Here comes the tight ends in now. The tight end off. Take a look at it. Watch him stretch right here. Yeah, he's definitely down. Excellent call. Good spot.
One thing that we have watched tonight, both these quarterbacks and a lot of the running backs really been breaking a lot of tackles tonight. They're running right through tackles.
Yeah, Coach Harbaugh would have nightmares coaching this game with all these missed tackles right now.
Walke, by the way, maybe like to get this last yard. He's carried 15 times for 147 yards and a touchdown, and he may get it. He does. Touchdown, Western Kentucky. Boy, big push by that offensive line ahead of him. Presley, Ryan, and Hughes. That's the two guards in the center. King and Jeffries on the tackles, and they just won the line of scrimmage, and Wolke takes it in for another touchdown.
Yep, nice surge by the offensive line. You're right, Presley and Ryan in particular. And of course now the extra point now is crucial because that gives them a 4-point lead. But who knows the way this game is going. Last year, 27-26.
Yeah, and a missed field goal by Western Kentucky gave North Texas the 1-point win.
That's right.
Here's the play. It's blocked. This one's up for grabs. It can.
This can be returned.
It's on its way to the other end, and this is going to be Sykes. This is the defensive end. No, it's Robertson, the linebacker, and he takes it the length of the field, and that'll be a two-point conversion the other way. Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, they're right up the middle, almost like he was unblocked, and a great rush. Take a look at it now. Watch this. Wow, that was a terrific job. That was Edric Gilmore right up the pipe, right between the center and guard, and off to the races. 2 points. Wow.
So Craig Robinson out of Stratford, Texas gets a touchdown. After again, Gilmore gets the block. And again, returned as he picked that one up out around the 15-yard line, and he was off to the races. I tell you what, Robertson's got some pretty good speed.
Good speed. Initially, when he hit the 40-yard line, I thought almost for certain that he was going to be caught from behind. But, man, he put the Jets on from that point on and just ran away from him. Now we got a 1-point game. 1-point lead for Western Kentucky, 40-39.
By the way, with Wolke going over the 100 mark and right at 150 yards tonight, first time that Western has had a quarterback rush for over 100 yards. Against K.J. Black did it. And, of course, he did that back in 07 when he rushed for 107. And he rushed that against Bowling Green State University, interesting enough. That one in Ohio.
Yep. And again, I've got to say this, the North Texas defense, as beleaguered as they've been all year, that was a great effort, to block that extra point. And that is a very positive sign for this defensive football team.
Well, the smoke is certainly called for here because this has been smoking tonight. North Texas will return the kick as Seward gets it deep. It's at the 5, and here come the Mean Green to the outside, and again they have returned it again with Royce Hill. Hill has suddenly turned into their return ace as he gets it out, and they'll drop it at the 30-yard line. Stop is made by Western Kentucky's 24, Chris Franklin. We called his name a lot on special teams tonight.
Yeah, he was the safety on that, and that was they tried to return it all the way across the field. It was caught on their right hash. It was a sideline return to their left. He was the safety. Franklin he was right in position.
1st and 10 to go for the Mean Green. They're down by a point after Robertson runs the blocked extra point back. Swing pass to the outside. Nicely played by Boyd again as they swung it out to Hamilton, but Boyd was Johnny on the spot for a loss of 2.
Boy, the big outside backer really showed a burst at the end of that play. Read the play beautifully. Didn't take the ball fake. He was all over it. He's a good football player.
He is indeed. He came in with 7 tackles for losses. He's had at least 2 tonight. And it's more than the 2. They lost 3, so it's 2nd down and 13. Beats under pressure. Underneath, that one's intercepted after it's been tipped. And so another big key break here for Western Kentucky. The ball was tapped, and an intercept is put on the board.
I think this is going to be a personal foul on Western Kentucky. They took a shot after the play. Take a look at this.
So it is a flag down on the play after the interception is made. And we're waiting for the call.
1st down, Western Kentucky.
So Western Kentucky after the personal foul, after it is intercepted. And getting that one is going to be Darvis McBride. gets the intercept here, and after the ball was tapped in the air by the receiver, and in that case it was Robertson. Johnson could not get a hold of the ball.
Yeah, and Visa was under duress.
He was.
And that's exactly what led to the poor throw, which led to the tip, which led to the interception.
And Higgins and Klein were drawing a beat on him as he had to throw that one under duress. So after the personal foul penalty against Western Kentucky, clearly after the interception was made, so it stepped off after the play is down.
Yeah, that was Santoro, the safety that had the late hit.
Waukee has played every series tonight with the exception of one. And here again is Hayden. Hayden's got some room to the 10, down to about the 5-yard line. And what another burst of speed again by Hayden.
God, he comes up gimping. That is not good for Western Kentucky. He took a real shot at the 5-yard line. I'm telling you, he did. And again, this is the zone read play. Look at, see his eyes on the end. Watch this now. Right at the end of this play, he really took a shot. Boy, wow. These young guys really have to be strong to play this game now. Again, just watch this at the end, right there. Big time shot.
One thing North Texas did not want to happen, that of course is giving McLeod any more opportunity. And it is going to be, again, Waukee going to the goal line at the 1, just about the same spot he was knocked down before, as he faked the handoff to McLeod in the backfield.
Now, he really wanted it again. I tell you, he smells it. Watch this. Watch this effort trying to get in right here by Waukee. Oh, he took a shot.
4 plays of over 30 yards tonight, Coach. You said they had to do that.
Well, yeah, Western Kentucky's made 4 plays of plus 30, and of course North Texas, that's been their issue all year on defense.
Waukee that time will try to force it in. North Texas says, no, you don't. But a lot of flags are down.
Well, I think this is going to go against West. They tried to quick count them.
Yep.
And unless North Texas was offsides, I think this will be a procedure penalty.
By the way, Shelly Anthony, number 58, is now moved into the center spot for Western Kentucky.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Hughes, the left guard, making a premature move.
You know, a lot of NFL teams are trying to do that now, and as often as not, it ends up, I don't like it because I've seen a lot of false starts, and, you're trying to get off early, and I don't know, I don't like it.
By the way, front line now for Western Kentucky. I mentioned that Anthony's at center. Hughes and Ryan are still at the guards. But Chestnut has now come in and playing on the right side along with McLaren. So again, a lot of fresh bodies in there for Western Kentucky. As the handoff faked inside once again to McLeod. And Waukee will take it down to the 5-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal to go at the 5. 7:29 left to go in the game. A 1-point lead for Western Kentucky. First time Western Kentucky has had 2 100-yard rushers. K.J. Black along with Terrell Hayden against Bowling Green back in 07. So again, they've had it with Hayden along with the quarterback Waukee.
Boy, now see, you had a 2nd and goal inside the 1, and now with that penalty, look at here. 3rd and goal.
Waukee back to throw. Time looking, crossing pattern, end zone, incomplete.
Now you got a big decision to make.
Nice play made there again by Adams out of Oklahoma City as he came across with the receiver. Intended man is Cooper.
Yep, and they're taking the field goal, but that false start, take a look at it here. Man-to-man crossing route, pretty well defended right there. Really well defended, in fact. But now, that penalty could have a major impact to this game. 2nd and goal from the 1, you'd like to think you're going to score.
You'd like to think extra points and field goals are automatic as Seward gets one up and he hit the goalpost wide. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, you said it. You'd like to think they're automatic.
Oh, my. 40-39, Western Kentucky hanging on by a thread. What a game with 6:50 to go. Homecoming at Western Kentucky on the Tube tonight. They have only 6:50 left to go in this one, as it is a helter-skelter game. Western Kentucky leading by a point at 40-39. What a night it has been. A strange night in the fact that Western Kentucky misses a almost automatic field goal here by Seward.
Doink.
Then an extra point is blocked return for a 2-point conversion as Robertson takes it home. Then the intercept by McBride. And then you think Western has an automatic. Gonk. And they hit the goalpost.
That's all in the last 5 minutes.
Gee whiz. Woo. Well, here we go with North Texas taking over at the 20. And they'll try to get that running game going with, again, Montgomery. And Cam will carry that out. We have not seen another running back with the exception of Hamilton tonight for North Texas. Montgomery has gone the distance. Well, there's our game summary tonight, Coach. Whoa, what a calculator we had to have for this baby tonight.
Well, how about 408 yards kickoff returns alone? Wow. 3 missed points. Crazy, wow. Sun Belt game.
2-point conversion run back. As there's a nice little wide out going over to Stickler.
Yeah, he's short, though. Short of the first down.
It'll bring up third down and very short.
Nice open field tackle by Ryan Beard to hold that short of the first down.
North Texas has done well on their 3 third down conversions tonight. They were at 50% most of the night. With 5:55 to go, they'll have another one. It is short by about a length of a football.
Yep.
Beatsa getting a check off from the coaches.
Got to get the defense moved.
13th third down conversion. Beatsa goes into the teeth of defense. He will not reach the 30. They were 6 of 12 before that one. No go.
I think they got to stop here.
Well, I tell you what, Klein, Anderson, and Dark. And then they got help from their buddies from behind. McBride was running in from the safety spot.
Yep.
Crashed it along with Boyd, and they did not make it. They stay at 4th and less than 1, and they'll kick the ball away.
You know, anytime you can get any kind of stop in this game, that's huge, especially with 5 minutes to go and a 1-point lead.
So out of the kicking position now for North Texas, it'll be Truman Spencer. Booms another one. Grabler calling for a first fair catch, and he gets it at the 33. Wise job, because there was 5 white shirts really crashing in on him.
Yeah, he's been solid back there, catching the ball on the punt returns.
You know, actually, they had gone to him quite a bit in the early part of the game. Maybe they'll come back to him next time on this. Let's take a look at our All-State BCS standings again. As you take a look at the top to bottom, Texas all the way down to Utah. Of course, both those teams undefeated, as is Alabama. There's the second 10. BYU along with LSU, the defending champions, bringing up the rear. And they, of course, had some big games today. Here's that fake handoff. But again, it is going to be a delay here of some sort by the officials. A flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 7, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Western Kentucky trying to shoot themselves in the foot here in this fourth quarter.
Well, the biggest play was the false start they had a couple minutes ago when they had 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line and then hit the uprights, didn't score the touchdown, missed the field goal. I mean, if Western Kentucky will lose tonight, Coach Elson will go back to that false start. Was really dramatically important.
So first down and 15 now for his Hilltoppers. Trips to the left side, wide side of Wolke. He looks that way, throwing under pressure. It's going to be intercepted. And back it goes the other way for North Texas. The intercept made by Kylie Hill. Hill at the 20, down to the 15-yard line. And there appears to be another flag down. Kylie Hill making the intercept, though, and takes it all the way down to the 15. And a penalty is down as Hill makes the second intercept of the night for North Texas.
This was after the interception when the flag was thrown.
On the return, delay of game, sideline interference, North Texas. It's a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st and 10, North Texas.
So again, players coming off that bench to celebrate with Hill. And again, got the penalty for 5 yards. Let's watch at the end of the play here after the intercept by Hill.
Yeah, and I don't think that he just didn't see him here. He didn't see him. He was going for the slant route. He never saw the defender. And again, huge play. And again, and you don't have to come on the field. All you got to do is get in the white area. And they've been strict with that call tonight. They've called both teams now.
So a 5-yard step off. It still will be 1st and 10 after the step off. They'll move it to just inside the 20. Last team with the ball. Good. 1st and now 20 after the holding. Vitsa, time to throw. Another one, it's tipped. And comes up with a catch, though, is Stickler. That ball was tipped on its way out, and Stickler, great concentration to stay right with it.
I don't think Stickler was I don't think he was the intended receiver. Take a look here. Look at Visa. Tipped right
there. Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. That was a fortuitous bounce right there.
Let's see, beautiful and fortuitous.
How about that for a coach? Not bad, huh?
He was even friendly to the referees last night.
I took my dictionary with me on the plane.
2nd down and 16 for North Texas. A 40-39 game. Would you believe it? As we come down to the final 3.5 minutes of this one in Bowling Green. The Hilltoppers trying to celebrate homecoming. North Texas trying to spoil it. Vitsa again is dropped.
Blake Boyd again comes up with a huge play for this Hilltopper defense. Good coverage downfield, coverage sack.
He was in, by the way, a half a sack earlier. This is his 5th sack of the season and a sack and a half tonight for Boyd. He's also, of course, made some huge plays at the line of scrimmage. This linebacker from Madisonville, Kentucky, has had himself quite a night. And now the nickelback comes in.
This is a huge play. 3rd and about 17.
This place is allowed. 19,000, just a shade under. Vitsa quickly calling for the ball. And now he doesn't like it, calls the timeout. At least Todd Dodge did on the sideline. So a timeout taken by North Texas on this crucial 3rd down play. Coach Elson also has a chance to check with his defense. Todd Dodge will dial in the offense, and we return in a moment.
I am the face,
the hands, the spirit
of WKU.
I think big.
I explore the unknown.
I educate the educators.
I find the answers.
I investigate
and inform.
I am recognized by my peers.
This
is who we are.
WKU. The spirit makes the master.
In the game of life, it's not how far you can throw the ball.
It's not how high you can fly.
It's not how fast you can run. Or how many touchdowns you can score that matters. It's really how you play the game that counts.
Because the game only lasts 4 quarters.
For a few years.
For that moment in time.
Good sportsmanship. Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship.
Lasts a lifetime.
Sunbelt Conference football from ESPN Plus is brought to you by NRG Potato Chips, the energy chips. By having Disrupt the Ordinary. By Golden Flake, the official chip of the South and the official chip of the Sunbelt Conference. By Choice Hotels International, friendly, Value, Choice Hotels, and by Geico. With Geico, you get more than just a great rate. It is interesting here on election week, and we have changed our vote at least a dozen times on our NRG Player of the Game. Who knows? This could be it. Third down, 18 yards for North Texas. They trail 40-39 to Western Kentucky. Montgomery's the lone running back. Beats his back to throw. To the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Fitzgerald. Wow. How did he come that wide open as he was open in the corner of the end zone? And they score from 27 yards away on a huge pass and catch by Fitzgerald.
You know, this is cover 2. Now, how can you leave Fitzgerald uncovered here? But this is cover 2. And Visa kind of looked the safety off, and they just fit the ball in there. That's a busted coverage for the Hilltoppers, and wow, what a time to make a bust on 3rd and about 17.
You see that he's made 7 of 8 catches thrown his way, and you know, we talked about Stickler coming up with a lot of catches because they were doubling on Fitzgerald, and now going for 2 with a 45-40 lead here by North Texas.
Exactly the right call.
Vitsa looking into the end zone. He's going to try to run to the near side. Now he stops in the end zone. Incomplete. As that one in and out of hands, intended receiver Kevin Dickerson, who had caught a touchdown earlier. So the score will hold with 5 points. Western Kentucky a touchdown to win it with 2:27. The defense of North Texas to dig in.
Wow. Wow. And again, here's the touchdown. And Fitzgerald, busted coverage. And there you see the cornerback throwing his arms out. Where's the safety?
That was Etheridge on the corner looking back, and the safeties were not there. And they were in the nickel with that long 3rd and long situation. Well, North Texas trying to break the winless streak. And of course, there's only 2 left in major college football right now, and that, of course, Washington and the Mean Green. Well, I guarantee the way they played tonight, this has been a club that has looked anything but 0-8. Certainly, they've given Western Kentucky 40 points in the game, but their offense is certainly cranked up tonight.
Well, and now it's on that young defense, and there you see Gary DeLoach right there, and it's all on him and that young defense tonight. Now they've showed signs of life tonight. And now we'll see how much right here, because obviously they're going to be in 4-down territory no matter where they start. And again, a key issue right here is this kickoff return. This has been a problem for North Texas all year. Western Kentucky's had some great returns tonight. This is key right here now to get up to, say, the 35-yard line anyway, to give their offense a good field position.
David Walke again on the sideline while waiting for the kick is Willis, as he will catch this one at his own 11. Willis to the outside looking for another return. He's got a hole, and ahead he comes to the 40, still running. They get it all the way down to the 46-yard line. A flag is down late, and I think they caught the face mask.
Yep, I think so too. And here you go. You talk about field position. They could be down to the 30-yard line here.
You know, you talked to Coach Dietzel yesterday, the special teams coach at Western Kentucky, and certainly he was talking about returns. They've had great returns tonight.
Well, they've had big-time returns. Here's the call.
On return, personal foul, face mask on the kicking team, number 48. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Western Kentucky.
Ryan Davenport, their starting defensive right end on special teams, caught him by the face mask.
This is a middle wedge return, and there's the face. No question about that. They might have had 2.
Actually, that was on Jeremy Knott, the kicker, and not Davenport. He had called it on Davenport, but again, it was not. 235 return yards for Western Kentucky tonight.
Wow.
I don't know what their school record is, but that's got to be very close.
Well, 2:15 to go, 31-yard line.
Well, let's see what Walke can do. Gives it off on the fake to McLeod. This is Walke. And again with 154 yards rushing, he adds some more to it.
Oh, the umpire really took a shot. He's down on the field.
Just getting up very slowly as he'll walk back to the huddle. Umpire there, Thomas Miller. So again, it's a 1st and 10 to go at the 15. Walkie along with Hayden, both over 100 yards rushing tonight, but look at Walkie. He has had a night.
Big time, big time. And again, that's the North Texas MO. They take away the run, but not the quarterback, and here he goes again.
Walkie is unbelievable tonight. He takes it for 9 more.
They have killed North Texas with that zone read play. And again, you know, it's based on the read of the quarterback on the end. Take a look at it. Boy, Walkie, what a job. You know, he's really good faking the end out. He just had a tremendous night.
Seeing some players on that front line. King is in there at right tackle. Ryan is in at left guard. Again, as I mentioned, Anthony is the center now, replacing Presley, did so in the second quarter. Hughes and Jeffries, even though McLaurin has also played some for Western Kentucky. Gives off to Hayden. Hayden to the 1. 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go. You don't want to score too quickly to give North Texas offense, the way Vitsa can throw, time to do something.
Well,
but you don't want to not score.
Nice cutback right there. Boy, he had a nice burst. And again, now remember, we've been here before talking about Western Kentucky, and they had that false start. Now the key issue right now becomes keep your poise offensively, no mistakes, no penalties. That's the key thing right now. The clock is running.
38 seconds. Walkie and Western Kentucky, 1st and goal to go at the 1. Fakes the handoff, Walkie to the goal line, thrown back at the 1.
Now they may have to take a timeout here.
26 seconds, 25, 24, still running. And finally a timeout is taken here.
21 seconds, you still have a lot of time. Let's see, they have 1 timeout left. Let's see if
that, by the way, is unofficial, Coach. We'll check on those timeouts. I believe it's 1-1, but we'll check it out unofficially. As North Texas huddles, and again, Walkie got for the goal line, but Steve Warren leading the charge there for North Texas, the backup linebacker.
Yeah, and Nwigwe was in on it too. There's Gary DeLoach talking to his defense with Coach Dodge.
Coach DeLoach, we pointed out, the defensive coordinator when North Texas was winning the first 4 Sun Belt Conference championships. And, of course, winning 1 of the 4 New Orleans Bowls titles. Florida Atlantic, of course, getting a big win in the R+L Carrier New Orleans Bowl last year. And Troy the year before. So they have done a good job against Conference USA in the R+L Carrier Bowl.
Absolutely. And, you know, now this is the second year in a row that this game has come down to the closing seconds.
27-26 last year. North Texas won by a point. Western Kentucky missing a 28-yard field goal that would have given them the win. Hayden is the running back. Walkie again with a 2nd down and goal to go at the 1. Turns, hands it off to Hayden. He goes to the 1, and North Texas defense holds again. And Nwigwe, the middle linebacker, was the first one to reach him. Wow. This is unbelievable.
Here we go again. 3rd down. Ball looks like about on the 1.5-yard line.
By the way, last time out taken here by the Hilltoppers, Coach.
Yeah, and now.
Oh, my.
I hate to say this, and now you have to think about throwing the football here. You have no timeouts left. 14. You know, if you don't score on this first run, you're in danger of the clock running out on you.
North Texas in search of their first win, and of course 1 of 2 winless teams along with the University of Washington in the major college division. And they right now with a 5-point lead with 14 seconds to go. But Western Kentucky on homecoming night, aiding to disappoint a nearly 19,000 crowd, but North Texas is doing their best job to try to make the real spoiler job as was Troy last year from the Sun Belt Conference on homecoming here in Bowling Green.
You know, and with North Texas, when you have not won a football game, and here you go, right here. Here's your shot.
Let's see if they throw or they'll try to test that middle again. You've got 8 in the box. Man in motion. Low snap. Wilkie is in trouble. He throws. It's intercepted.
He's going to score.
The other way to go. This is Nwigwe. Nwigwe's got a convoy behind him. He'll take it all the way. Nwigwe scores for North Texas on an intercept and got it at the 2-yard line. 98-yard return by Nwigwe.
Look at the North Texas bench.
They're going to take a penalty as, nope, it's out of time. I thought there was 2 seconds left.
That's it.
That's it. So he scores on the last play, and they do it big time with a 51-40 score right now. And North Texas, of course, will break out of the winless strike.
Well, it was a play-action pass, and Johnson missed the block on the defensive end, and that's what set it up. And, you know, desperation heave by Wilkie. And Nwigwe, wow, incredible football game.
Nwigwe coming up with the intercept, and of course a huge play here. And of course, after winning last year by a single point, they make it 2 in a row as they knock off Western Kentucky. No extra point will be tried, as it is a 51-40 score by the Mean Green.
Pretty fitting for Halloween weekend, I might add.
My gosh.
There's a happy man right there. And there's one that's a terrible,
Yep.
tough loss for Western Kentucky.
Well, again, you got to credit that North Texas defense again, as again they really stood up. And I tell you what, the last defensive stand by North Texas gets our final vote. And Toby Nwigwe comes up with our NRG player of the game. He energized his club to the victory, including 98 yards on the interception for the touchdown. Wow. Well, Coach, a big win here tonight for North Texas, and Western Kentucky, disappointing night.
And a great goal line stand by the Gary Loach's defense, and some life in that North Texas defense.
Well, our final score once again, North Texas wins tonight 51-40 over Western Kentucky. Be sure and join us next Saturday. Our Sun Belt Conference game of the week will be as Texas El Paso, the Miners, travel to take on the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. For our entire crew, along with Doug Graber, this is Sam Smith. Hope you've enjoyed our broadcast tonight. Thanks for joining us, and good night from Bowling Green. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus. That's the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. Again, from Bowling Green, Kentucky, with North Texas winning. Good night, everybody.